Chapter 148. Yes. Deputy Director Li, who was in charge of the daily work, smiled kindly. This time, we will also be going to the countryside in H Province, Qingyuan County, which is about 200 kilometers away from Lin City. The environment there is indeed more difficult, but I believe that our comrades are all good comrades and will overcome all difficulties. Su Qing-sang didn't care. No matter how difficult Qingyuan County was, it couldn't be worse than the doctors going to Africa, right? Okay, I will send a copy of the specific departure time and itinerary to your email. The precautions and things to be prepared will also be explained in the email. If there is anything that you don't understand, you can come to me at any time. The meeting was simple and clear. It ended quickly. Su Qing-sang was a little absent-minded. In the past, she didn't think much of it if she was going to the countryside, but now, Jin Yao's face flashed in her mind. If that guy knew that she was going to leave Lin City for a while, he would probably be unhappy, wouldn't he? Su Qing-sang didn't realize that she seemed to understand Jin Yao's preferences more and more, and she could understand his feelings more and more. What? Jin Yao stared at Su Qing-sang. You're going to the countryside? Yes. Su Qing-sang looked at Jin Yao, not sure if he would be unhappy to hear the news. How long will you be gone for? About 20 days. This time, not only Qingyuan County, but also several towns under Qingyuan County. She looked at the itinerary and found that it was very tight. So long? Jin Yao's expression suddenly changed. He reached out and circled her in his arms, pressing his chin against her neck. Can you not go? No. Su Qing-sang shook her head. This is the decision of the hospital. I have no reason not to go. Just say that you have something to do at home? Jin Yao. Could he stop fooling around? Her work was a very serious matter. Why did it seem like a game when it came to him? Wife. Jin Yao tightened his arms around her waist. Think about it. You have to go for 20 days. 20 days. Doesn't that mean that I can't hug you to sleep for 20 days? Jin Yao. Su Qing-sang couldn't listen to it anymore. Can't you think about anything else other than this? How can I think about that? Jin Yao looked aggrieved. We are newlyweds. As he spoke, he pressed her down on the sofa, and his hands began to move. Honey, I can't bear for you to leave. Don't go to the countryside. Don't go to the countryside. Just ask for leave. Su Qing-sang removed his hand, pushed him away, and sat up. Su Qing-sang took his hands away and sat up. I'm going to check the weather in Qingyuan. Also, what should I bring? Next week. Jin Yao stood up and followed her. Isn't it next week? Li I is. Do you want me to help you? Do. Huaz. Su Qing-sang knew him too well. Looking at his figure, she cleared her throat and said, Jin Yao, stop messing around. Wife. Su said, Jin Yao, what are you doing? Su Qing-sang was startled by the sudden feeling of being suspended in the air. She instinctively put her arms around his neck. Don't you think it's too long for us to be apart for 20 days? She looked so beautiful that he wanted to go with her. Put me down first. No. Jin Yao refused. Wife, I think we're going to be apart for too long. Therefore, as compensation, we should start calculating the next 20 days' share first. Chapter 149. Before she could protest, her body had been carried back to the room. The door was closed, and all the protests disappeared behind the door. Su Qing-sang couldn't tell whether it was compensation or punishment. Shi Mengwan sat in the dining room. While waiting for the dishes to be served, she glanced at Su Qing-sang and nodded from time to time. Not bad. It seems that you're living a good life. What nonsense are you talking about? Tisk, is it nonsense? Shi Mengwan looked at Su Qing-sang and pursed her lips. Well, do you want to see your neck? You should wear a scarf before you go out, right? Su Qing-sang exclaimed and quickly took out a mirror from her bag. She looked at her neck and found that there was a mark on the back of her neck. Su Qing-sang blushed and looked up at Shi Mengwan. Did you bring any concealer? It's so big. Why would I need to cover up? Shi Mengwan laughed at her. It's so intense. Come on, tell me, how many times does Mr. Wu come at night? Shi Mengwan. Su Qing-sang couldn't bear it anymore. Don't forget that you're unmarried. Yes. You know that I'm unmarried? You put so much dog food in my mouth. Didn't you think that I would be disgusted? Seeing Su Ching-sang's embarrassment, she waved her hand. Forget it. I won't laugh at you. I'm quite envious of you. Why should I be envious? Su Ching-sang really didn't think that there was anything to be envious of. Think about it. You randomly got a man to marry, but this man is very good. He's handsome and nice to you. What's more, he's good at kung fu. Other people only want one thing, but you want so much. Do you think I should be envious of you? Su Ching-sang was speechless. In fact, Hua Jinyao was beyond her imagination and knowledge. Ever since she got together with Hua Jinyao, the idea of just finding a man to live a casual life was getting farther and farther away. He did give her a lot of surprises. Are you envious? Hurry up and find your big brother. I promise he'll treat you better than Hua Jinyao treats me. Forget about me. Shi Mingwan thought of something, and the expression on her face suddenly became dejected. I don't think I'll be able to find dear brother in this life. Why do you say that? Su Ching-sang couldn't bear to see her like this. Shi Mingwan smiled and looked out the window. Ching-sang, do you believe me? I really wasn't mistaken. The person I met last time was him. He admitted it. No. Shi Mingwan's eyes flashed with bitterness. He's engaged. How did you know? Because he came to my shop to order a wedding dress. Su Ching-sang was silent. This matter, Wan, don't be like this. I think you'll definitely meet a better man. Really? Shi Mingwan turned around and said, all right, it was fine. I won't die without a man anyway. It's good that you can get over it. Su Ching-sang didn't know what was going on with that big brother, but it had been so many years. Shi Mingwan had waited long enough. The waiter began to serve the dishes, and Su Ching-sang's comforting words were unnecessary. Let's eat. Shi Mingwan picked up her chopsticks as she spoke. You'll be away for half a month. We'll meet again when you come back next time. Okay. Two extremely beautiful women were sitting by the window. A car passed by outside, and it happened to be a red light. The people in the car kept staring at the two of them until the light turned green. Chapter 150. Honey, Hua Jinyao followed behind Su Ching-sang and watched her pack her luggage. Do you really have to go? Su Ching-sang didn't want to talk to him at all. She had already made up her mind last week. Get out of the way, I'll pack up. Wife, let me help you. Hua Jinyao, I'm begging you. Can you not make trouble? He kept loitering in front of her, and she couldn't even pack her things properly. Honey, Hua Jinyao felt a little wronged. Can't you just look at me? Hua Jinyao. Su Ching-sang lost her temper. I knew I was leaving last week, but I'm leaving tomorrow morning. I haven't packed my things yet. Why? Because of Hua Jinyao. Every time she tried to tidy up, he would make trouble. Not only did he not allow her to tidy him up, but he also did whatever he wanted to her. He always had a fallacious argument. He said that the two of them were about to separate, that he would starve her for many days, and that he would not be able to sleep well without his wife. She really couldn't do anything about his endless excuses and reasons. Even if she wanted to resist, she could only give in when she saw Hua Jinyao's aggrieved face. What about now? She was going to leave tomorrow, and it was even an early morning bus. This person still didn't want her to pack her things? Actually, I can help you collect it. No, thank you. I'll be grateful if you don't make trouble. Su Ching-sang saw that his hand was about to reach her again, so she took a big step back and said, Stop. Don't move. Honey, Hua Jinyao looked at Su Ching-sang, his expression growing more and more aggrieved. You don't believe me? Yes. I don't believe you. It would be strange if she believed him again. During this period of time, thanks to him, her waist was about to break. Could she still believe him? Honey, shut up. Actually, do you believe that I won't talk to you for a month if you keep talking? Hua Jinyao closed his mouth and made a zipping gesture with his lips. Su Ching-sang was completely speechless. Helplessly, he turned around and continued to pack. Seeing that she was so focused, Hua Jinyao turned and left the room. Hua Jinyao didn't come back until Su Ching-sang had packed everything up and laid down to rest. It was obvious that he had already showered. His body was clean and fresh, and he smelled like shower gel. Honey, he lay down beside her and whispered, Can I speak now? Su Ching-sang looked at him and said, I didn't know you were so honest. Say what you want to say. Wife, actually, I just wanted to say that if you weren't at home, I would definitely miss you. Seeing that Su Qing-sang didn't say anything, he held her arm. It was true. I'll miss you a lot when you're not home. Su Qing-sang looked at his face. From this angle, his facial features were handsome, and his jawline was almost perfect. Honey, do you miss me? Hua Jinyao held her in his arms and pressed his forehead against hers. His hot breath was on her cheek, and his eyes were deep. Su Qing-sang could clearly feel her heart beating fast. She didn't dare to face Hua Jinyao like that. That pair of deep eyes made her feel like she would be sucked into them. Do you want to? Honey, tell me. I'm sleepy. I'm going to sleep. Her heart was beating faster and faster. She simply turned her face away from him. Honey, sleep. Su Qing-sang wasn't used to confiding in others. However, Hua Jinyao didn't want to let go just like that. Chapter 151. I said sleep. No. Hua Jinyao seemed to be determined to waste time with her. If you don't say it, we'll do something else. Something that will impress you so deeply that you'll never forget it. Hua Jinyao, do you want it? Tell me, do you want it? Yes. I'll miss you. Okay. Go down. Honey. Hua Jinyao leaned over and kissed her on the lips. I'll miss you too. I'll miss you very, very much. Okay, go to sleep. Honey, I'm telling you, you must be careful when you're out. Don't get too tired. I know. Also, stay away from men who have bad intentions, especially the male doctors in your hospital. Hua Jinyao, what are you talking about? Okay, I won't say it. As long as you remember. Also, don't go to dangerous places. Hua Jinyao. His words were getting more and more ridiculous. Su Qing-sang pulled his hand away and turned over to sleep. I'm going to the countryside to participate in a free clinic with the medical team. Do you think I'm going to fight? I'm worried about you. Hua Jinyao put his arms around her again. You're so stupid. I'm not afraid of you. Who are you calling stupid? Su Qing-sang couldn't listen to it anymore. Who are you calling stupid? She was a top student in medical school, okay? Why did he sound like she was a retard? I'm stupid, I'm stupid. Hua Jinyao, stop talking. Honey, remember to video call me every day. Hua Jinyao, are you going to let me sleep? Sleep, sleep. I'll sleep right away. Hua Jinyao rubbed his face against the crook of her neck. Before she closed her eyes and went to sleep, he asked again softly. Well, your senior brothers won't go, right? Su Qing-sang closed her eyes and covered her ears. She didn't want to listen to him at all. The medical team's car would leave at 7 in the morning. All the members gathered in the parking lot in front of the hospital. There were more than 20 people going this time. There were doctors and nurses. Hua Jinyao got up early and bought breakfast. When Su Qing-sang got up and wanted to take a taxi to the hospital, he was already ready. He carried her luggage outside and said, Honey, let me give you a lift. Why are you up so early? Hua Jinyao usually got up early, but today he was even earlier than usual. Just look at the breakfast he prepared. My wife is leaving. Of course I have to send you off. Su Qing-sang couldn't help but feel touched. Looking at Hua Jinyao, she spoke from the bottom of her heart for the first time. Hua Jinyao, thank you. Wife, you are my wife. There's no need to thank me. After a quick breakfast, they got into the car together. By the time they arrived at the parking lot, nearly half of the crowd had already arrived. Hua Jinyao opened the trunk. She found that, in addition to her luggage, he had also bought her some snacks, water, and fruits. Honey, take this with you to eat on the road. Su Qing-sang looked at the bag and knew that the store wouldn't open so early. So, Hua Jinyao got up early in the morning to prepare this? Hua Jinyao. Honey. Hua Jinyao didn't seem to see the touched look in her eyes. His eyes kept searching the people in the medical team who had already arrived. Are all the people who are going here? Su Qing-sang glanced at them. After a few minutes, almost all the people had arrived. She nodded. Yes, they should all be here. Some of them were people from other departments. She didn't know them, but they should all be here. Hua Jinyao glanced at them again and suddenly smiled. Chapter 152. Hua Jinyao looked at Zhua Hanshun, who had suddenly appeared, and suddenly turned to look at Su Qing-sang. He moved closer to her ear and whispered, Honey, didn't you say that your senior brother was going? I didn't say he wouldn't go. In fact, Su Qing-sang was also a little surprised. She had seen the name list, and Zhua Hanshun was not on it. How could senior brother be here? Compared to Hua Jinyao, Zhuo Hongchen's expression was much gentler. He was also carrying 2 bags in his hands, which looked even fuller than the one Hua Jinyao was carrying. Qing sang. Zhuo Hongshan acted as if he didn't see Hua Jinyao and put one of the bags in Su Qingsang's hand. I bought you some food so that you can eat on the way. He placed the other bag in the hands of Director Li, who was leading the medical team. Su Qingsang's luggage had already been carried into the car by Hua Jinyao. In her hands were the snacks that Hua Jinyao had bought for her. Zhuo Hongshan put another bag in front of her. She looked at the bag and then at Hua Jinyao's gloomy face. She didn't reach out to take it. What happened? Zhuo Hongshan looked at her and then at Hua Jinyao. It's just a little food. I believe Mr. Hua won't mind, right? The corners of Hua Jinyao's mouth twitched. He minded. Of course, he minded. Hua Jinyao put on a fake smile and stepped forward. He put one arm around Su Qingsang and took the bag from Zhuo Hongshan's hands with the other. You're welcome. Why would I mind? As he spoke, he put the bag in Director Li's hand. All of you should thank Brother Zhuo. Zhuo Hongshan's smile was a little stiff. He turned to look at Su Qingsang and said, Qingsang, I can't go this time. You have to take care of yourself. We have to. Don't worry, Qingsang will. Hua Jinyao interrupted him. Qingsang is an adult. She will take good care of herself. The corners of Su Qingsang's mouth twitched. She didn't know who was the one who told her so many things like a child last night. Zhuo Hongshan looked at Su Qingsang. There were a lot of people in front of them, and Hua Jinyao was there, so he couldn't say too much. Director Li. Zhuo Hongshan turned to look at Director Li and said with a smile, You've worked hard this time. Remember to take care of female comrades. Many people here knew that Zhuo Hongshan was Su Qingsang Sr. His instructions didn't cause much speculation. Now that he specifically pointed out the need to take care of female comrades, Director Li also smiled. Okay, don't worry. I will definitely take good care of female comrades. Su Qingsang didn't think too much about it. Senior brother Zhuo had always been nice to people. It was reasonable that he would give her something. Hua Jinyao's reaction surprised her. This guy was like a hedgehog every time he saw her close to another man. She was truly helpless. She felt more and more uncomfortable when she met the teasing gazes of the other members of the medical team. Okay, I'm going to get in the car. You can go back first. Honey. Hua Jinyao's hand was still on her shoulder. He glanced at Zhuo Hongshan. His meaning was obvious. If Zhuo Hongshan didn't leave, he wouldn't either. That's enough, Su Qingsang said in a very low voice. Go back. Don't you have to work today? It's still early for work. I'll see you off first. I'm already here. There's so many colleagues and seniors here. Don't worry. Chapter 153. This person he really was. Su Qingsang didn't know what to say. Hua Jinyao said, Honey, you have to video chat with me every day or call me. I know. And Hua Jinyao. Su Qingsang didn't want him to continue. Look at other people. They all left right after they arrived. Only he was still standing there, refusing to leave. Hua Jinyao didn't say anything. He just squeezed her hand and whispered to her face, Okay, remember to miss me. Su Qingsang blushed. She looked at the others and felt that they were all laughing at her. However, Hua Jinyao didn't seem to feel it. He stood by her side and held her hand tightly. When it was time to leave, Hua Jinyao had to let go. Su Qingsang got in the car. When she turned to look at Hua Jinyao, there was a trace of reluctance in her eyes. She waved at Hua Jinyao and chose a seat by the window. Hua Jinyao watched the car drive away before he turned to leave. However, when he saw Zhuo Hongshan, he took a step forward and walked towards him. Senior brother Zhuo, you got up early. You're welcome. Not as early as you. Of course I got up early. Qingsang is my wife. She's been away for so many days. Of course I have to see her off. Zhuo Hongshan looked at Hua Jinyao and frowned. Are you proud? Not really. Hua Jinyao shook his head. I'm just glad. Zhuo Hongshan didn't need to say the rest. Hua Jinyao was glad that he appeared at the right time and got Su Qingsang. I hope you can always be glad. I will. Thank you. After saying this, Hua Jinyao turned and walked to his car. However, he didn't go to the company. An hour later, his car appeared at the airport. Zhang Yang and Yang Wenchang were already waiting at the airport. Mr. Hua. Yes. Hua Jinyao put the car key in Zhang Yang's hand expressionlessly. Drive the car back for me. Let Wen Chang go with me this time. Yes. Zhang Yang nodded. Don't worry, Mr. Hua. I've arranged everything. Yes. Hua Jinyao nodded and looked at Yang Wenchang. Let's go. After being away for so long, it's time to meet those people. Yes, sir. Yang Wenchang quickly followed Hua Jinyao into the boarding gate with anticipation. Destination: Rome City. Rome City. Lin City was in the south, and Rome City was in the north. It was already past the Mid-Autumn Festival, but Lin City was still very hot. Many people were wearing short-sleeved shirts. Rong Chung had to wear a windbreaker. The Hua family's main residence was a 20-minute drive from the city center. It would take an hour to get there from the airport. Hua Jinyao had already dealt with some documents in the car. When they arrived at the Hua Manor, he asked Yang Wenchang to return to the company first. He got out of the car and entered the house. Second young master, you're back? As soon as he entered the door, a servant greeted him and took the coat from his hands. Yes. Hua Jinyao nodded and glanced at the living room. The servant said, Sir has gone to the company. Madam had an appointment in the morning, so she went out. Old master is upstairs in the study. He heard you coming back just now and asked you to go up first. Got it. Hua Jinyao waved his hands and was about to go upstairs. However, a figure came down from upstairs first. The servant looked at Hua Jinyao and wanted to say something, but stopped on second thought. That person was obviously the person she didn't have time to tell just now. You can leave. Hua Jinyao looked at the person expressionlessly. The servant took the coat and left. Chapter 154. TSK. Finally willing to come back? I thought you were going to die in Lin City and never come back. Hua Yifan, the eldest son of Hua Jinyao's uncle, Hua Mingliang. Hua Mingliang's family did not usually live in the Hua family's main residence. It was rare for him to appear here. Hua Jinyao's grandfather, Hua Yangping, had 3 children. The eldest, Hua Mingguang, was Hua Jinyao's father. The second son, Hua Mingliang, had 2 sons, Hua Yifan and Hua Yang. He also had a daughter, Hua Manzi. Third brother, Hua Mingmei. She was married to Wei Nantian, the eldest son of the Wei family, who was also one of the upper-class families in Rome City. He gave birth to Wei Sihai and Wei Siming. The Hua family was a big family, and Hua Yangping had a brother, Hua Yangyuan, who did not engage in business, but walked the path of righteousness. One of his younger sisters, Hua Yangxiu, was married to the commander of an army. In other words, the Hua family was extremely famous and had connections in all the realms. However, the most famous one was Hua Yangping. He started from scratch and accumulated a huge amount of wealth. At the same time, they were very resourceful. Almost all the businesses that the Hua family invested in were profitable. This was also the reason why the headquarters of the Hua family was called Tianyu. Under the sky, there were areas that the Hua family was involved in. Hua Mingguang was the current chairman of Tianyu Company. After he retired from Hua Li, he started to take over Tianyu. Compared to Hua Yangping, his methods were fierce but not gentle. Among Hua Yangping's 3 children, he was the one he liked the most. Because of Hua Mingguang's existence, the first branch of the Hua family had the most say in the entire Hua family. Although Hua Mingliang and Hua Mingmei both held positions in Tianyu, their authority was much smaller than Hua Mingguang's. This also made Hua Yifan, who was the younger cousin, very unhappy. In his opinion, he was no less capable than his cousin, Hua Jinyao. Yifan, you must be joking. Rome City is my home. How could I not come back? Really? Hua Yifan sneered. Do you still think of this place as your home? I thought you were calling Lin City your home now. After all, Big Aunt and Big Uncle have been waiting for you to come back for so long, but you still haven't come back? Opening up a new market will naturally be more hectic and tiring. Not to mention my parents, even my grandpa understands me. But Hua Jinyao glanced at Hua Yifan and chuckled. Of course, you wouldn't understand such a situation. After all, your ability is limited. How could I let you do something like opening up a new territory? Hua Jinyao. Hua Yifan didn't even call him cousin anymore. Don't go too far. Am I wrong? I'm really sorry. Hua Jinyao spread his hands. Usually, The truth is always unpopular. Excuse me, I still have to go up and look for Grandpa. He walked past Hui Yifan and headed upstairs. Hui Yifan's cold voice sounded behind him. Hui Jiniao, don't be so smug. No matter how capable you are, if Uncle doesn't support you, don't even think about sitting in that position. Don't worry. Even if he doesn't support me, he won't support you, Hui Jiniao said without looking back. After all, your aptitude is too ordinary. Ignoring Hui Yifan's sullen face, Hui Jiniao went straight upstairs. The main residence of the Hua family had 5 floors. Hui Yanping lived on the 2nd floor. In addition to his bedroom, there was also a study that was specially for him. When Hui Jiniao entered the door, Hui Yanping had just finished writing a piece of calligraphy. He took a step back and looked at his writing. He didn't even raise his head when he heard the door open. Chapter 155. What? You know I'm back? Hui Yanping's voice didn't sound old, but rather quite energetic. Hui Jiniao took a few steps forward and stood beside him. Grandpa, your handwriting is getting better and better. Don't flatter me. Hui Yanping glanced at him, and no one could tell whether he was happy or angry on his expressionless face. I'm old and won't fall for this. Grandpa, what are you saying? How is this flattery? Hui Jiniao pointed to the words written by Hui Yanping and said, Look here and here. The strokes are strong and vigorous. To be honest, Grandpa's handwriting is getting stronger and stronger. Hui Yanping stepped back and sat down on the chair. He picked up the cup of tea beside him and took a sip. Hui Jiniao. Hui Jiniao stood up straight. Every time Hui Yanping called his full name, it meant that he was very angry. Grandpa, if you have something to say, just say it. There's no need to shout so loudly. If you're afraid that I'll shout, then don't do anything that will make me angry. How'd I make you angry? Hui Yanping was over 80 years old, but he was full of energy and vigor. Seeing that Hui Jiniao was pretending to be dumb, he sneered. Do you think I don't know what you did in Lin City? Grandpa. His voice carried the meaning of begging for mercy. I'm old, and you always have your own ideas, so I'm too lazy to care about you. Talk to your father yourself. Hui Jiniao's expression changed slightly. He nodded and said, Grandpa, don't worry. As long as you don't object, I'm relieved. What are you worried about? Hui Yanping glared at him. If she's really a good girl, bring her back. Is there anything shameful about the Hua family's eldest granddaughter-in-law? Grandpa, he wanted to bring Su Qingsang back, but now is not the time. Don't blame me for not reminding you. Your mother has already helped you secure the position. Hui Jiniao's expression changed. He pursed his lips into a straight line and stood there with his brows tightly knitted together. Grandpa, I understand. Thank you, Grandpa. Hui Jiniao took a shower and changed. Then, he returned to his study to deal with some official matters. At dinner time, Hui Jiniao's parents came back. A servant came up and asked Hui Jiniao to go downstairs for dinner. When Hui Jiniao went downstairs, his parents, Hu Mingguang and Lu Tongjia, were already seated at the dining table. You still know to come back? It was exactly the same as old master Hui Yanping's opening remarks. Hu Mingguang looked at his son with obvious dissatisfaction in his eyes. Dad, what are you talking about? This is my home. Of course I have to come back. You still know that this is your home? Hu Mingguang snorted. I thought you didn't know where your home was. Hui Jiniao pretended not to hear her. He smiled at Aunt Lu, who had pulled out a chair for him. Thank you, Aunt Lu. Turning to look at Hu Mingguang, he raised his eyebrows in confusion. How could you not know? The Hua family was such a unique place that everyone in Rong City knew about it. I'm no exception. Lu Tongjia was infuriated by his reaction. Enough. What's with that cheeky smile every day? How old are you? Yet you still don't behave properly. Hui Jiniao rubbed his nose and sat up straight on purpose, placing his hands on his knees. He turned to look at Lu Tongjia. He gestured for her to shut up again. Lu Tongjia was so angry that she almost vomited blood. Hui Jiniao, tell me I'm not deaf. Chapter 156. Finally, he calmed down. There was no anger on his face, only indifference. Since you're back, put your marriage with Ruoli on the agenda as soon as possible. I've already made a good day for you. The 30th of next month will be a good day. The Su family has also agreed. The wedding will be organized by the wedding company. You just have to attend. Mom. Hua Jinyao was still sitting in the same position, but he turned his head to look at Lu Tongjia. I forgot to tell you. I'm already married. Lu Tongjia's expression changed again. She stared at Hua Jinyao, trying to suppress her anger. If you're talking about your marriage with that illegitimate daughter of unknown origin in Lin City, don't mention it. I won't admit it. I only admit that Ruoli is my daughter-in-law. Mom, you seem to be mistaken about one thing. Ching Sang and I have already gotten our marriage certificate. We are legally married. If you want me to marry Su Ruoli, aren't you asking me to commit bigamy? You can still get a divorce after you get married. Lu Tongjia said in a tone that left no room for negotiation. That ignorant woman only wants money. She can be sent away with money. Hua Jinyao's expression began to change. He wanted to say something, but Lu Tongjia didn't give him a chance. I'll give you half a month to break up with that woman. The Hua family can give you as much money as you want. In half a month, you must come back to Rong City to prepare for your wedding with Ruoli. She said it without hesitation. Hui Yangping and Ho Mingguang, who were at the dining table, just watched. Hua Jinyao nodded and looked at Lu Tongjia with a chuckle. What if I say no? Hua Jinyao, are you purposely going against me? Why would I deliberately go against you? Hua Jinyao shrugged. It's just that I'm already married, and I don't want to get a divorce. I'm not going against you. Hua Jinyao, please be clear about one thing. Everything you have now is given by the Hua family. Lu Tongjia suddenly stood up. If you don't break up with that woman, then don't blame me for being rude. Hua Jinyao's expression also changed. He put away his cynical attitude, stood up, and looked at Lu Tongjia. Then, Mom, what do you want me to do? What do you think? Lu Tongjia sneered. He disobeyed his elders and made a private commitment. What do you think I can do to an unfilial son like you? Do whatever you want. Anyway, I can't divorce Ching Sang or marry Su Ruoli. If you want a marriage alliance, you can ask Hui Yifan or even Hua Yang to go. At the very least, there was Wei Si Hai and his cousins. I don't understand. Why do you insist on my marriage? Do you think I want to pick you? If it wasn't for him. If it weren't for Lu Tongjia suddenly paused. She was trying her best to control her emotions. Hui Yangping and Ho Mingguang didn't look happy at this moment. They obviously knew what Lu Tongjia was going to say next. Hua Jinyao also knew that, but his expression didn't even change. He just stood there like a pine tree. If it weren't for Lu Tongjia put her hands on the table. Before she could finish her sentence, Hua Jinyao's phone rang. Su Ching Sang was on the other end of the line. At this moment, all the emotions on Hua Jinyao's face disappeared without a trace. He picked up his phone, turned around, and walked out of the dining room to answer the phone. Hello. Su Ching Sang's voice came from the other end of the line. She sounded a little tired. Chapter 157. Hua Jinyao very sensitively captured the trace of emotion in her voice. Nothing. Su Ching Sang yawned. A large part of the road was under construction when we came here. It could have taken us 2.5 hours, but it took us 4 hours. Then, before we settled down, the hospital we stayed in had a car accident. A bunch of injured people were sent here, and we all went up to help. Now we finally have some time. Honey, you've worked hard. Hua Jinyao's voice was not serious, as usual. It's a pity that I'm not by your side. Otherwise, I could give you a massage. I don't want your massage. Forget it. Didn't he say he was going to give her a massage every single time, but the massage turned out to be a different story? If you don't want my massage, then what should I do? Hua Jinyao seemed to be very distressed. I'm not by your side right now. I can't help you if you're tired. Nothing. I just want to tell you. Actually, she wasn't particularly tired. It wasn't like she had never been more tired before. But strangely, it seemed that whenever he was by her side, she couldn't help but want to tell him. She wanted to hear him comfort her and call her wife in that voice she was already familiar with. How about this, honey? Hua Jinyao seemed to have thought of something. I'll kiss you. Promise you won't be tired. Hua Jinyao. You. Hua Jinyao slapped the phone with a pop sound. Feeling that it wasn't enough, he kissed it 2 or 3 more times. Honey, do you feel my kiss of love? Su Ching Sang blushed. Even though she knew that Hua Jinyao couldn't see through the phone, she couldn't help blushing. Stop it. You don't feel it? Then do it again. Hua Jinyao. Su Qingsang couldn't stand it anymore. That's enough. I'm going to eat. Eating at this time? Hua Jinyao was here because Hua Mingguang and the others came back late. Why was Su Qingsang so late? Yes, I have no choice. I've been busy until now. She was about to eat. She remembered that Hua Jinyao had asked her to call him when she arrived. Su Qingsang had been busy with other doctors before, but now she thought of contacting Hua Jinyao. Then wife, hurry up. If you're hungry, I'll feel bad. Glib. How's this glib tongue? Hua Jinyao retorted with a serious face. I don't care, honey. I'll check you after you come back. If you don't take good care of yourself and end up losing weight or becoming lighter, I will punish you. How do you want to punish me? Su Qingsang didn't believe that he would dare to do anything to her. How do you think I can punish you? Hua Jinyao smiled meaningfully. He spat out 2 words. Su Qingsang's face turned even redder. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I'm hanging up. Honey, Hua Jinyao stopped her. You seem to have forgotten something, haven't you? What is it? What do you think? Hua Jinyao didn't mind reminding her. I've already sent you so many love kisses. Are you going to hang up on me just like that? Su Qingsang was defeated by him. In the end, she had no choice but to kiss the phone. Hua Jinyao was satisfied and finally let her go. He hung up the phone and turned around, only to find Hua Mingguang standing behind him. Hua Jinyao wasn't embarrassed at all when he heard him talking on the phone. He walked past him and continued in the direction of the restaurant. Hua Mingguang blocked his way and stared at Hua Jinyao with a serious expression. Chapter 158. Hearing this, Hua Jinyao couldn't help but want to laugh. Dad, what are you talking about? Qingsang and I even got a marriage certificate. You can get a divorce after you get married. Hua Mingguang frowned. I believe the Su family won't mind. But I do mind. Hua Jinyao interrupted him. I mind my divorce. I don't mind who I marry either. Hua Jinyao, don't be too willful. Don't forget that your surname is Hua. Yes, my surname is Hua. Hua Jinyao nodded and didn't deny it. So, you want to use this to kidnap me? It's not kidnapping. I want to remind you of the responsibilities and obligations that you should bear as a descendant of the Hua family. Hua Mingguang's eyes were sharp, and his face, which was somewhat similar to Hua Jinyao's, had an undeniable strength. I refuse. Hua Jinyao looked at him. The father and son were similar in height and appearance. The same aura. Hua Jinyao, you, don't say anything else. Hua Jinyao's eyes flashed with gloominess. I know what you want to say. I know it all, but I won't listen. I refuse. Hua Jinyao said this and turned to walk out. It seems that you don't welcome me in this house. In that case, I'd better not be an eyesore for now. Before Hua Mingguang could stop him, Hua Jinyao had already strode out the door. Shi Mengwan's wedding dress design studio had been open for 2 years. She designed high-end dresses and wedding dresses. She had a small reputation in the industry. People who knew her all said that she was a genius designer. Even if she hadn't been able to squeeze into the top domestic designers, there were many people in Lin City who asked her to design wedding dresses. The wedding dress that Su Qingsang wore before was designed by Shi Mengwan, but she didn't expect that one day Su Peijian would also come to her to design a wedding dress. Looking at Qiu Yanba and Su Peijian in front of her, Shi Mengwan really didn't want to accept business from these 2 people. Miss Su, Mr. Qiu, I wonder if you have any special requests. Su Peijian's face was cold, and she looked very unhappy. In her opinion, she should go to Milan or Paris to find a top-notch designer to design a wedding dress that suited her status. But Qiu Yanba actually brought her to Shi Mengwan? Can you order wedding dresses from Milan and Paris? Su Peijian looked proud. Shi Mengwan resisted the urge to roll her eyes. Sorry to disappoint you. We only sell wedding dresses designed by me. Su Peijian didn't even think about sitting down. She turned around and looked at Qiu Yanba. Yanba, let's go. Don't worry. Qiu Yanba glanced at Shi Mengwan and put his hands on Su Peijian's shoulders. Just let her design it. If you're satisfied, then use it. If you're not, then we'll go to Paris or Milan to order, okay? Su Peijian didn't look too happy, but she didn't object. Shi Mengwan had no choice but to take out a pen and paper and listened to Su Peijian's instructions. Shi Mengwan wrote down Su Peijian's request in detail and seriously. Then, she sent them off with a fake smile on her face. When he entered the house, he couldn't help but call Su Qingsang. Su Qingsang was very busy. Although Qingyuan County was a small county, it had many towns and villages. This time, they had to go to every village for a free medical consultation. 20 days in 9 towns and villages, an average of 2 days in each town. This meant that they didn't have time to rest at all and had to go to the next town after resting. Chapter 159. She was so tired that she wanted to lie in bed immediately when she returned to the arranged residence after finishing her work at night. Even the video call with Hui Jinyao at night ended in a hurry. She had just finished seeing a patient that day when she received a call from Shi Mengwan. "What's wrong, Qingsang?" It was already afternoon, and fewer people came to see the doctor than in the morning. Su Qingsang greeted the doctor next to her. She took her phone and went outside to answer the call. "Qingsang." Shi Mengwan told Su Qingsang what happened today. "What do you think your young lady wants to do?" Su Peijian asked Shi Mengwan to order a wedding dress. Why did it sound so magical to Su Qingsang? I don't know. Su Qingsang didn't know much about Su Peijian, but she said, "I think you might be thinking too much. Maybe she just admires your design." "How is that possible? You didn't see her face when she entered the door. She looked so arrogant, as if I owed her money. I really wanted to tell her to come if she wanted to. I don't want to wait on you." "Don't." Su Qingsang smiled. "Why not design? Just take it, and do it well. When the time comes, make a lot of money from her. That's your style, Miss Shi." "Yes, that's true." Shi Mengwan nodded. "I think it's not normal for Su Peijian to come to me. I'm thinking about what I have that she can plot against me." "You're thinking too much. Does she want to deal with me through you?" "That's not Su Peijian's personality." "That's true." Shi Mengwan smiled and felt that she was thinking too much. "Well, you're still in the countryside. I'll talk to you later. Remember to take good care of yourself and don't get too tired." "Yes, I know. You too." Shi Mengwan gave a few more instructions, hung up the phone, and turned around. She found Xiao Yanba standing behind her. She was shocked and couldn't even hold her phone. Sorry." Xiao Yanba smiled calmly. "I dropped something here." As he spoke, he picked up a wallet from where he had been sitting. Shi Mengwan didn't notice it just now. "By the way, you just said that Qingsang went to the countryside?" "Yes." "Go to Qingyun." Shi Mengwan was halfway through her sentence when she suddenly looked at Xiao Yanba defensively. "Mr. Qiao, why do you care about this?" "It's nothing. I was just asking." Xiao Yanba's expression was indifferent. "Speaking of which, I've been working with Hui Jinyao recently, so I'm just asking. You don't need to be so nervous." Although Shi Mengwan felt that it was strange, she didn't think too much about it. She sent Xiao Yanba off with a smile, not noticing the flash of scheming light in his eyes. After hanging up the phone, Su Qingsang found that it was raining outside, and the number of patients had begun to decrease. Today was her 9th day in the countryside. They had already visited 4 towns. Tomorrow, he would go to the 5th village. Everyone packed up and planned to leave for another town the next morning. After midnight, the rain became heavier and heavier. The next morning, when the medical team was about to set off, it was still raining. Everyone looked at Director Li, waiting for his instructions. Director Li took out his phone to check the time and check the weather forecast. It's been raining, and it won't stop for the entire morning. It's only a 2-hour drive to Gaoya town. Let's hurry up and set off now. Since Director Li said so, everyone carried their things into the car and got in together. Chapter 160. He took out his phone and glanced at it. Because of the rain, the signal was very weak. "It's raining. Let's go to Gaoya town now. My eyelids keep twitching." After editing the message, Su Qingsang deleted it. What was wrong with her? She sent messages like this to Hui Jinyao for no reason. Not to mention that he wasn't here now. Even if he still had to go to the place he wanted to go. "Let's go to Gaoya town now. It will probably take a while for us to settle down. I'll contact you when we get there." A few minutes later, she received a reply from Hui Jinyao. "Give him a kiss. Remember to take care of yourself." Don't tire yourself out. Looking at the affectionate emoji sent by Hua Jinyao, Su Qing-sang's uneasiness disappeared. I know. You too? He replied, feeling that his tone wasn't intimate enough. But that was already her limit. Thank you for your concern, my wife. Honey, don't forget to miss me. Su Qing-sang looked at that sentence and seemed to be able to imagine Hua Jinyao's expression at that moment. She chuckled. He lifted his eyes to look out of the window, and the smile on his lips could not be suppressed. Miss him? Of course he wanted to. However, she did not want to tell him. The road to Gaoya Town was basically a mountain road. The rain was getting heavier and heavier. The people in the car looked at the rain and were not in the mood to chat. He only hoped that this part of the journey would be smoother. Halfway through the car, the driver suddenly braked. Su Qing-sang fastened her seatbelt. Otherwise, she might have flown out. Not good. There seems to be a landslide in front. The driver looked at the windshield that was constantly being washed by the rain, and his expression was solemn. There were 2 cars in their group. Director Lee poked his head out. Can we rush over? Let me try. The driver's face was livid as he quickly stepped on the accelerator. Su Qing-sang wanted to stop him, but it was too late. The landslide in front of them was severe, and big rocks kept rolling down. Before the driver could rush over, a few large rocks rolled down. Their car was stuck in the middle of the road, unable to move. The cars behind also stopped. Rocks were still rolling down from above. The driver drove the car to the side where there was a big tree. He used the tree to stabilize the car and prevent it from sliding down the hill. Boulders and sand were still rolling down. Yishinga took out her phone to call the police. Before the phone could be pulled out, a large rock fell on the car. The car hit a tree and slid down the slope for a long distance. Su Qing-sang's phone flew out. Before she could pick it up, the car slid down a lot more. A few nurses in the car were already shouting. Steady yourself. Calm down. Director Lee had never encountered such a situation before. He wanted them to calm down. But the car began to slide again. Su Qing-sang gripped the handle of the front seat tightly. His heart sank as he watched the car slide down the slope. Another boulder fell, and the car they were in followed the car behind it, sliding further down the hill. There were even signs of the car overturning. This time, even Su Qing-sang couldn't stay calm. Looking at the phone that she had thrown, she tried to pick it up. At this moment, the car completely rushed down the hill. At the headquarters of Tianyu Group in Rong City, sitting in the conference room, Hua Jinyao glanced at Hua Yifan and Hua Yiyang, who were sitting below, and picked up the document in front of him. Chapter 161. Hua Yifan and Hua Yiyang both worked in Tianyu. One was the manager of the sales department, and the other was the manager of the marketing department. President Hua, I don't think you can blame me for this. Hua Yifan was very clear about his work and personal interests in the company. He usually called Hua Jinyao. What do you mean? Nothing. Hua Yifan chuckled. Everyone in Rong City knows that President Hua is very capable. You've almost finished negotiating this kind of case before. If I continue to talk, won't I be stealing your credit? Hua Jinyao stared at Hua Yifan's face and felt that his smile was asking for a beating. President Hua, don't be angry. Don't you think so? As your younger brother, I can't possibly steal your credit, can I? So you can deliberately not do anything and let this project that could have already started be in a state of stagnation until now. Hua Jinyao's voice was slightly cold, and he casually knocked on the table with his hand. But that was a precursor to his wrath. How could that be? Aren't you back now? You can continue. Besides, I've already asked the chairman. The current chairman of Tianyu Group was Hua Mingguang, Hua Jinyao's father. You're using the chairman to pressure me? I wouldn't dare. I'm just stating the truth. Hua Yifan kept smiling. Hua Jinyao nodded and said, Good, very good. Since Manager Hua felt that this kind of thing needed to be consulted, I think you don't want to stay in this position anymore. Why don't you leave the business department and go to the logistics department? Hua Jinyao. Hua Yifan stood up. What do you mean? Nothing. Hua Jinyao ignored the change in his expression. This company belongs to those who are capable. If the company can't operate normally after I leave for a few days, then what do I need you for? The atmosphere in the conference room had been very gloomy. Hua Jinyao ignored him and stood up. I will personally go to the Lin Corporation today to negotiate the contract. But this is the last time. I hope that when I'm not around, you can display your strengths and do your own things well, instead of using such an evasive attitude to deal with me." Hui Yifan glared at Hui Jinyao, his eyes dark. Hui Jinyao glanced around the meeting room. As for how to deal with manager, effective immediately, Hui Yifan took half a step forward and was about to argue with Hui Jinyao. Hua Yang held his hand from behind and shook his head gently at him. Hui Yifan stopped and looked at Hui Jinyao's back with a gloomy look. On the other side, Su Qingsang's car kept going down and was hit by the car behind it twice. Su Qingsang's head accidentally hit the seat in front of her when she was falling. She lost consciousness for a while. When she woke up, she found that their car was stuck halfway up the mountain. A few big trees were caught. Her body was held in place by the seatbelt. Her head was dizzy and painful. She tried her best to raise her head to look at the situation and environment in front of her. Only then did she realize that she was not the only one who was awake. The other members of the medical team were also awake, but no one dared to move. The driver's body was hanging from the driver's seat, and his head had hit the glass in front of him. His face was covered in blood, and he had already fainted. Director Li, Deputy Director Chun, and a few nurses were awake, but they did not dare to move. That was because the car was supported by those trees. The car was leaning at a 40-degree angle. Chapter 162. Qingsang, you're awake? Chen Xiaoyu was relieved to see that Su Qingsang was awake. Are you okay? Su Qingsang shook her head gently. Director Chun, are you okay? I'm fine. Deputy Director Chun looked at the environment in front of him and sighed in his heart. What should we do? We can't move at all. It's okay if we can't move, but I'm afraid that the bus will rush down. They were stuck by the trees now, but what if the trees couldn't bear it? Su Qingsang's words made everyone silent. Everyone thought of this terrible possibility. Where's your phone? Who still has your phone? Call. Su Qingsang's phone had already fallen in the front seat. She couldn't take it out at all. It's useless. There's no signal. Deputy Director Li's phone was in his pocket. He took it out and looked a little dispirited. I've called several times. Maybe it's because of the heavy rain and thunder. Deputy Director Chen smiled bitterly. Now we can only wait for someone to pass by and save us. Wait for someone to pass by? Su Qingsang looked at the environment in front of her and couldn't be optimistic at all, not to mention the fact that they were in the middle of nowhere. Even if someone passed by, she didn't know how long it would take for them to arrive with such a big mudslide. She tried to move her body. It was very uncomfortable to be half-hanging like this. The seat belt was uncomfortable, but without it, her whole body would fall to the front seat. She looked out of the window again. The bus was closed. Only the windows at the front and the back could be opened. The other unconscious people in the bus woke up one after another. Fortunately, the people in the bus were all doctors. Everyone was wearing seat belts, so they were only slightly injured. But they couldn't just hang like this. We should find a way to climb out, someone suggested. We can climb out, but it's raining heavily outside. More importantly, what if we move too much and cause the bus to continue to rush down? Were there still trees at the foot of the hill, stuck to them? More importantly, it was raining heavily outside. Unless there's a big crane to fix the bus and then we climb out one by one. It would be great if there was a big crane at this time. Everyone thought so. But how is that possible? Those who have cell phones, try your best to make calls and ask for help. Most people's phones were placed beside them. Everyone took out their phones to make calls, but there was no signal without exception. Are we going to die here today? The young nurse, Huang Jia, looked scared. She didn't want to die. Don't talk nonsense. Su Qingsang had been looking out the window. She turned to look at her and said, We'll be fine. How could it be fine? It's dangerous just looking at it. Yes. Huang Jia sounded like she was about to cry. I don't want to die. I'm not married yet. Su Qingsang was stunned for a moment, thinking about Hui Jinyao. What would he do if he knew that something had happened to him? She didn't know and couldn't guess. But at this moment, she really hoped that Hui Jinyao could be like a hero in a movie. He had suddenly descended from the sky to save her. She knew it was impossible. The accident happened in the morning. Su Ching-sang wasn't sure if she was hallucinating when it happened in the afternoon. Chapter 163. She carefully tilted her body and looked up. She could vaguely see an excavator working behind the trees. How was that possible? Not only her, but everyone else in the car also became excited. However, no one dared to move. They were afraid that the car would fall or something. The sound of the machine behind them grew louder and louder. When the rescuers' faces appeared outside the car window, Su Ching-sang's heart was at ease. Huang Jia, who was behind her, cried tears of joy. No one dared to move, waiting for the rescuers to rescue them. Soon, the rescuers broke the window and began to pull people out one by one. The first person to be rescued was the driver. He didn't wake up. Obviously, he was injured. After he went out, Director Li, Deputy Director Chun, and Huang Jia were all rescued. Su Ching-sang wasn't the last. When she went out, the paramedics were resuscitating the driver. He had a head injury, but fortunately, it wasn't fatal. Su Ching-sang was about to help when she was pulled back. "Are you okay?" The familiar voice stunned her. She turned around and was shocked to see Qiu Yanba's enlarged face. "Why are you here?" She even forgot how to address him. She just stared at him blankly. "Are you okay?" Qiu Yanba didn't answer her question. Instead, he looked her up and down. Su Ching-sang had bumped into the front seat. There was a bump on her forehead, but it wasn't bleeding. "Are you hurt?" Qiu Yanba reached out to touch her forehead. Su Ching-sang instinctively avoided it, but she was a little weak because she had been hanging in the seat for too long. Qiu Yanba's hand still touched her forehead. She snorted. He took out a bottle of water from behind him. "Drink some water first. The food is in the car. The car can't stop here, so you have to walk." Su Ching-sang was very thirsty. She reached out to take the bottle of water and drink a few mouthfuls. Her throat felt much better. "Thank you." "You're welcome." She looked so disheveled. Her hair was messy, her face pale, and there was sweat on her forehead. Qiu Yanba couldn't help but raise his hand to wipe her sweat. Su Ching-sang was once again startled by the sudden approach. She dodged backward again, and at the same time, she avoided his hand. This was a place where a large landslide had occurred. Her heel was a rock. Su Ching-sang lost her balance and almost fell. Qiu Yanba was quick to catch her. "Be careful." He put his hand on her shoulder. Su Ching-sang felt uncomfortable. The situation in front of her was so weird. "I can stand on my own. Can you let me go first?" "Okay," Qiu Yanba said, but he showed no signs of letting go. He supported her body to the side. "Stand here. The terrain here is flatter." Su Ching-sang really wanted to avoid his hand on her body, but the road in front of her was really not smooth. Then, because she wanted to avoid him, she tried to lie down on the rocks several times. Not only did she not walk steadily, but she almost fell down several times. If Qiu Yanba hadn't steadied her, she would have easily fallen. "Thank you." Su Ching-sang was not an ungrateful person. He thought for a moment and tried to find something to talk about. "Why are you here? What do you think?" How did Su Ching-sang know? She wasn't Su Peijian. Moreover, she didn't even know what kind of business the Cho family had. Chapter 164. Qiu Yanba smiled. He helped Su Ching-sang to a tree at the back, where they stood on a relatively balanced spot. "What kind of business do you think there is in this small Qingyuan county that I can negotiate with?" Su Ching-sang didn't know how to respond to this question. "Then you..." Qiu Yanba stood in front of her. He didn't seem to be uncomfortable with the chaotic and noisy environment around him. "If I say that I'm here to look for you, do you believe me?" Su Ching-sang widened her eyes and looked at him. When their eyes met, she twitched the corner of her mouth and said, "Brother-in-law, this joke is not funny." "It's a joke." Qiu Yanba lowered his head and looked at Su Ching-sang's face. "Also, don't call me brother-in-law. I'm not married to your sister yet. In my heart, you are my brother-in-law." Su Ching-sang took a step back as she spoke. Behind her was the trunk of the big tree, and she had nowhere to retreat. Qiu Yanba took a step forward. "But I suddenly realized that I don't want to treat you as my little girl anymore. What should I do?" "Qiu Yanba." Su Ching-sang's face was cold. She couldn't accept Xiao Yanba's attitude at all. I'm already married, and you're going to marry my sister soon. I hope you can respect yourself. Her voice wasn't loud. She had been hanging there for a long time, so she was still a little weak. Xiao Yanba stared at the obvious rejection in her clear eyes. His mind, however, was replaying the scene of her talking to Hui Jinyao on the phone. He really wanted Su Qingsang to have the same look in her eyes because of him. Qingsang, did you know? The Cho family and the Su family had previously arranged an engagement, but it didn't say that it had to be your sister. If you are willing, I don't mind changing the bride. Was this person crazy? Su Qingsang stopped talking. He looked around and saw that most of the injured people had been rescued. The injured were tending to each other's wounds. Su Qingsang had no intention of talking to Qiao Yanba. Sorry, you don't mind, but I do. I'm still in the countryside, and I still have work to do. She stopped talking to Qiao Yanba and turned to help. Qiao Yanba was left looking at her back, his eyes full of determination. It only took Hui Jinyao one afternoon to sign the contract that Hui Yifan had been delaying. This was something that had been decided long ago. It made no difference whether he was here or not. However, Hui Yifan had kicked the ball back to him. What if he didn't return to Rome City? What did Hui Yifan want to do? Hui Jinyao refused to have dinner with the CEO of Lin's company and left after signing the contract with him. As soon as they left the company, Yang Wenchang, who had been following him, finally spoke. President Hua. Yes. Something happened in Qingyuan County. What does the incident in Qingyuan County have to do with him? Hui Jinyao didn't understand what Yang Wenchang was trying to say, but only for a few seconds. He suddenly stopped and looked at Yang Wenchang. What did you say? I said something happened in Qingyuan County. It was a landslide. Because of the heavy rain, there was a large landslide. Then speak. Hui Jinyao's expression was already quite cold. I tried to contact Miss Su, but I couldn't reach her. Hui Jinyao's face darkened, but Yang Wenchang had no choice but to finish the job. Except for Miss Su, we can't get in touch with the rest of the medical team with her. Chapter 165. Hui Jinyao's eyes were dangerous. Yang Wenchang's face dropped. 3 hours ago. As soon as Yang Wenchang finished speaking, Hui Jinyao's face became even colder. 3 hours ago, and you're telling me now, when I received the news, you were signing a contract with Boss Lin. During this period of time, Hui Jinyao shifted his focus to Lin City. Those who knew said that he was going to explore a new market, and those who didn't know said that he was avoiding responsibility, especially since the Hua family still had 2 young masters who were eyeing him covetously. He really didn't want Hui Jinyao to make any more mistakes. Even so, Yang Wenchang's voice still lowered. Hui Jinyao's eyes were cold, and his tone was even colder. Help me book the fastest ticket. As for your punishment, you'd better pray that Qingsang is fine, or else. There was no need to say anything else. Yang Wenchang quickly said, the ticket is booked. We can go to the airport now. Hui Jinyao's face became a little clearer, and he strode to the parking place. Although Su Qingsang wasn't seriously injured, almost all of the medical staff who came this time had wounds of different sizes after going through the torment just now. Although it wasn't fatal, almost everyone was injured. After Deputy Director Li of the medical team called the relevant leaders, they decided not to go to Gaoya Town. Just as a group of people followed the rescue team back to the center of Qingyuan County, a village in front of them was buried because of a large-scale landslide. The rescue team was now going to rescue as soon as possible. There was only a health center in this place. Seeing this situation, the doctors and nurses of the medical team didn't say that they were going to rest and help. Although Su Qingsang studied obstetrics and gynecology, as a doctor, every doctor had to know how to bandage and suture wounds. She couldn't care less about Qiao Yanba. In the simple tent set up by the rescue team, she started to busy herself with the other doctors. Qiao Yanba was ignored. However, he didn't feel uncomfortable. Instead, he followed behind and helped with great interest. At first, Su Qingsang wanted to drive him away, but then she realized that he could really help, so she didn't say anything. At this time, no matter who he was, she just needed to catch him and use him. The relevant departments also acted very quickly. At night, More than 50 buried villagers had been rescued, and they were rescuing the other half overnight. Su Qing-sang was so busy that she didn't even have time to drink water, let alone eat. Qiu Yanbao came up to her after she stitched up a patient's wound and handed her a bottle of water and a piece of bread. Eat something first. Even if you want to save someone, you have to conserve your strength first. Thank you. Su Qing-sang was really hungry, so she didn't stand on ceremony. He took the water and gulped down a few mouthfuls. Be careful. Seeing that she almost choked, Qiu Yanbao reached out and patted her on the back. Su Qing-sang stiffened. She took a step back and glared at Qiu Yanbao. Thank you, but I'm fine. Qiu Yanbao tilted his head and looked at her. His expression was a little playful. Are you going to throw me away after using me? Whatever you say. Su Qing-sang's voice was slightly cold. As a married woman, and you are my brother-in-law, it's better for us to keep our distance. Why didn't you tell me to keep my distance when I saved you? Su Qing-sang frowned and looked at him with confusion. Chapter 166. Qiu Yanbao spread his hands. Why do you think the rescue came so quickly in Gaoya town? Because I was on my way to find you. I heard something happened, so I transferred people here as soon as possible. Su Qing-sang didn't say anything. Although they had been in trouble for a long time, the people here came quickly. You can also watch the news now. There are several nearby towns that have experienced disasters of different degrees. They're not so lucky. Thank you. Su Qing-sang nodded. This sentence was much more sincere than before. But I still say the same thing, you eat first. Qiu Yanbao glanced at the rain outside the tent. I don't think the rain will stop for a while. The rescue work is difficult. There may be other injured people sent here later. You doctors on the front line should save some strength. Su Qing-sang didn't say anything and finished the water and bread in her hands. She glanced at Qiu Yanbao and turned to continue with her work. It's not cute at all. Qiu Yanbao raised his eyebrows and muttered to himself. He touched his chin. But it's quite interesting. Another hour passed, and the rescue workers rescued another 8 villagers. One of them was a pregnant woman who was 8 months pregnant. She had stopped breathing when she came out. The situation was very critical. The pregnant woman's husband was working outside and survived. Seeing the situation, he almost knelt down to the medical team doctors. Su Qing-sang was not in the mood to talk to him. She followed Chief Chun and the nurses into the tent. The husband wanted to follow in, but was stopped by Qiu Yanbao. Sir, if you go in, it will affect the medical staff. You'd better wait outside. Su Qing-sang happened to hear this when she pulled up the tent. She couldn't help but look at Qiu Yanbao again. The husband finally stopped saying he wanted to go in. The rain outside slowly let up. Qiu Yanbao looked into the tent. There was no movement, so they could only wait. There was a doctor on the other side who needed a stretcher. Because Qiu Yanbao had been helping, the doctor called out. Qiu Yanbao didn't refuse and went over to help. After carrying the stretcher, he looked at the time. Su Qing-sang had been in there for an hour. He took a bottle of water and 2 more pieces of bread, intending to give them to Su Qing-sang when she came out. From the corner of his eye, he saw a person who shouldn't be here. Jinyao. When he saw Hua Jinyao also saw him. Hua Jinyao narrowed his eyes slightly. At that moment, his gaze became extremely sharp. Boss Zhou, President Hua. They already knew his identity. Qiu Yanbao didn't stand on ceremony. Hua Jinyao had barely stopped for the past few hours. He rushed all the way from Rome City to Lin City. After he got off the plane, he immediately rushed to Qingyuan County. As soon as he arrived at the center of the county, he received the most accurate news. It was said that Su Qing-sang's medical team had encountered mudslides and landslides, and their survival was uncertain. Hua Jinyao's heart was in his throat. He couldn't contact Su Qing-sang and didn't know how she was doing. He used all the forces he could use in the shortest time possible and finally got accurate information about Su Qing-sang. Chapter 167. Hua Jinyao looked Qiu Yanbao up and down. His eyes were deep and unreadable. However, it only took him a few seconds to turn around and continue looking for Qing-sang. When they arrived, they had already heard that the medical team was fine, so they were participating in the rescue. He had only turned halfway when Qiu Yanba spoke, as if he knew what he was going to do. Qing Sang is having surgery inside. I don't think he'll come out so soon. He pouted and pointed at one of the tents. Hua Jinyao paused and turned around to look at Qiu Yanba. Their eyes met, and there seemed to be some tension in the air. Hua Jinyao wasn't in a hurry to find Su Qing Sang. He took a step forward and stood in front of Qiu Yanba. Boss Qiu, can I ask why you are here? What do you think? Qiu Yanba didn't answer his question directly. His half-smile was full of mischief. I'm not familiar with Boss Qiu, so naturally I wouldn't know. But I think the Li family and the Su family might know better, don't you think? Qiu Yanba chuckled, his expression calm. Mr. Dai, you don't have to bring up the Su family and the Li family. Although the Qiu family doesn't dare to say that they can cover the sky with one hand, no one can stop me if I want to do something. I admire President Chao's confidence. However, I also want to give you a piece of advice. What? Hua Jinyao casually put his hands into his trouser pockets, and his handsome face was a bit cold. Living in this world, one must know one's own limits and know where one's abilities lie. Secondly, one should know how to be content with what they have. Those who covet things that don't belong to them usually don't end up well. What do you think? Thank you for the reminder, President Hua. However, I'm a rebellious person by nature. I like to make things that don't belong to me mine. Only then would the process be interesting. What do you think? Hua Jinyao's face darkened. He was trying his best to restrain the urge to punch Qiu Yanba. Wah wah! The baby's cry came from inside. The husband was about to rush in when a nurse came out. Li Xiuli's family, mother and son, are safe. She has some external injuries and needs to rest in bed. Thank you, doctor. Thank you, doctor. When Su Qing Sang and Director Chun came out of the tent, both of them were covered in sweat. None of them expected that she would encounter such a dangerous situation on this trip. Rubbing her brows, she was about to grab a bottle of water when 2 bottles of water appeared in front of her. Qiu Yanba placed the water and bread in front of Su Qing Sang. The other bottle of water was naturally handed over by Hua Jinyao. When Su Qing Sang saw Hua Jinyao, she was so shocked that she even forgot to take the bottle of water. What's wrong? Are you stupid? Hua Jinyao put the water in her hand with a faint smile in his eyes. Seeing him suddenly appear, Su Qing Sang didn't take the bottle from his hand. She just stared at him blankly, unable to come back to her senses for a long while. Jinyao. She looked at the bottle of water and then at him. Was he real? Yes. Hua Jinyao nodded. Looking at her dumbfounded expression, he wanted to laugh. Seeing that she didn't move, he couldn't help but reach out and pull Su Qing Sang into his arms. It was already past the Mid-Autumn Festival. Even though Lin City was a southern city, it was still a little chilly. Hua Jinyao had been worried about Su Qing Sang all the way here, so he didn't even open an umbrella. His clothes were already wet, and his body was full of water vapor. Su Qing Sang was held by him, but she didn't feel the coldness of his body at all. Chapter 168. She didn't know when it started to rain again, but it was just a drizzle. Hua Jinyao hugged Su Qing Sang very tightly. His lips were right next to her cheek. He turned his face and kissed her cheek a few times. His lips were also cold. Su Qing Sang shrunk her neck. It seemed that she only realized what she had done at that moment. She gently pushed Hua Jinyao to let go of her. Hua Jinyao let go of her, but didn't let go of her. You scared me today. Su Qing Sang was also shocked, not to mention him. The moment she was hung on the car, she really thought that she was going to die. Why are you here? Su Qing Sang didn't tell him that she was scared at that moment. She was actually more curious about why he was here. I was worried about you, so I came. Hua Jinyao looked at her with clear eyes. Under the not very bright lights, she could see that his eyes were filled with her shadow. Su Qing Sang's heart was like a feather gently brushing against the lake of her heart when she was being looked at like that. Her heart, which had always been calm and indifferent, could no longer be calm at that moment. The atmosphere between the two of them was really too beautiful. Even in such an environment, it couldn't be ignored. Ahem. Qing Sang, eat something first. You should be hungry again. Qiu Yanba's voice interrupted Su Qing Sang's thoughts. Only then did she realize where she was and what kind of environment she was in. She blushed and took a step back uncomfortably. She didn't take the bread and water from Qiu Yanba's hand. Instead, she took the water from Hua Jinyao's hand. Have you been here for a long time? According to the time, Qiu Yanba had appeared early. However, as soon as Hua Jinyao heard that something had happened to her, he immediately rushed over. Not long. Hua Jinyao looked behind him. Yang Wenchang had finally arrived. He had arrived a long time ago. However, since Hua Jinyao was here, he naturally had a reason. In the name of disaster relief, he had delivered all kinds of necessities for the people. Yang Wenchang had just gone to arrange the whereabouts of these items. Now that he finally had the time to come, he was carrying large and small bags of food in his hands. When she met Hua Jinyao's eyes, she swallowed the word president. Dr. Su. Yang Wenchang looked directly at Su Qingsang and handed the bag in his hand to her. This is some food. You and the other doctors and nurses in the medical team have worked hard. Not at all. Su Qingsang shook her head. It's what we should do. She looked at the bag in Yang Wenchang's hand and was stunned by the label on it. Why are there so many? She looked at Hua Jinyao and asked, Did you prepare this? That's right. Yang Wenchang glanced at Hua Jinyao and said, Hua Jinyao is an excellent employee of our company. This time, he was the one who applied for the company to send a lot of supplies in the name of the earthquake. So don't feel burdened. The corners of Qiu Yanba's mouth curled up. He looked at Hua Jinyao with a mocking smile. Of course, Hua Jinyao saw his expression. He turned to hold Su Qingsang's hand and said, Don't worry about this. Someone will take care of it. You, on the other hand, have a tiring day. You should eat something and rest. Yes, Su Qingsang was tired, but she wouldn't force herself at this time. Only by conserving her strength could she better participate in the work. Holding the bag that Yang Wenchang had given her, she turned around to look for the other medical staff and distributed the food and drinks to them. Qiu Yanba watched Su Qingsang's figure walk away. He retracted his gaze and looked at Hua Jinyao. Chapter 169. Qiu Yanba's expression was unreadable. Hua Jinyao's expression was slightly cold. What does President Qiu mean? Nothing. Qiu Yanba smiled. I just thought it was strange. I don't know who said it, but the first element of marriage is sincerity. President Hua, am I right? Hua Jinyao didn't take this threat seriously. So, I mean to say that a marriage which begins with deceit has no sincerity and probably no loyalty. He really did not know how long such a marriage could last. What do you think? Don't worry, Boss Qiu. Hua Jinyao's expression didn't change, but his tone was a little cold. It doesn't matter how you started it. What matters is how you maintain it and what kind of results you get. When it came to time, there was really no need for Boss Qiu to worry. I believe it will last as long as I live. Is that so? President Hua sure is confident. Qiu Yanba smiled and raised the bottle of water in his hand. In that case, I can only wish you all the best, President Hua. Hua Jinyao glanced at Qiu Yanba coldly and turned to look for Su Qingsang. The rescue continued, and the medical team arranged for people to take turns on duty. Those who were not injured would keep watch for the first half of the night, while those who were injured would keep watch for the second half. Su Qingsang didn't think that the wound on her forehead was a wound. He directly requested to keep watch until midnight. By the time Hua Jinyao arrived, everything had been arranged. Aren't you tired? Do you want to rest for a while? Hua Jinyao had never been in such a situation before. Everything in front of him was quite unfamiliar to him. More than a dozen villagers were buried under the ruins of the village. Batch after batch of rescue team members went up to the rescue. Su Qingsang looked at the other side and shook her head gently. It's okay. I'll rest later. Can you drink coffee? Hua Jinyao looked at her, holding a cup of freshly brewed instant coffee in his hand. I just rushed it. This is the only one I have now. But I'm afraid you won't be able to sleep after drinking it. I'm fine. Su Qingsang took the cup of coffee and took a sip. The warm coffee warmed her stomach. She turned to Hua Jinyao and said, I'm fine now. You could go back tomorrow morning if you have nothing to do. I still have work to do. Don't worry. I'm here for disaster relief. My boss won't blame me. Really? Of course it's true. Honey, You don't believe me? Hu Jinyao moved his face closer to hers as he spoke, looking a little aggrieved. Su Qingsang couldn't stand it and moved to the side. Stop it. There were so many people around. Why didn't they look at where they were? I'm not joking. Hu Jinyao put his arm around Su Qingsang's waist and said, Do the math yourself, honey. How many days have I not seen you? It hasn't been that long, right? 10 days. Hu Jinyao looked at her. We haven't seen each other for 10 days. Honey, don't you miss me? Stop it. Su Qingsang looked around and said in a low voice, Let go of me. It's not good to be seen. So what if I saw it? You are my wife. Not only did Hu Jinyao not let go, but he also hugged her even tighter. We are a couple. What's wrong with a hug? Don't even mention hugging, even if we do it now. Hu Jinyao's mouth was covered by Su Qingsang. She glared at him and said, Hu Jinyao, that's enough. Just look at what he's saying. Not enough. Hu Jinyao still had a lot of sweet words to say. Qingsang. Chapter 170. He turned around and glared at the person in front of him. The expression on his face could not be considered pleasant. Su Qingsang took the opportunity to move away from his arms and took a big step back. Qiu Yanba turned to look at Su Qingsang as if he didn't see Hu Jinyao's sullen face. Qingsang, I just wanted to tell you that there are more injured people being sent over. Su Qingsang looked in the direction he was pointing. She nodded and turned to look at Hu Jinyao. I'm going to work. Find a place to rest. It's getting late. I'm fine. If you won't sleep, then I won't sleep either. Hu Jinyao's sweet words seemed to be at his fingertips. Su Qingsang rubbed her forehead, feeling a little embarrassed. These words could be said in private, but there were outsiders here. Seriously, Su Qingsang glanced at Hu Jinyao and quickly went to work. After midnight, the doctors and nurses who were in charge of the handover woke up. Su Qingsang finally had time to rest for a while. The medical team had a special tent to rest in, with many people sharing one tent. Hu Jinyao had been waiting for Su Qingsang. When she was done, he pulled her into the tent that he and his men had set up. You can sleep here for a while. There's no need. Don't make it special. How was this special treatment? Hu Jinyao held her hand. This place is so small. I feel like you're wronged. Hu Jinyao, that's enough, my wife. Don't argue with me about these small things. You'd better get some rest. I guess I'll be busy tomorrow. All right. Su Qingsang thought about it and agreed, so she stopped arguing. The place was limited and the environment was simple. She simply washed up and went to bed. When he entered the tent, he found that Su Qingsang had already fallen asleep. She had been busy just now, and there were many people around her, so Hu Jinyao hadn't been able to take a good look at her. Now that he was free, he took out the ointment he had prepared earlier and sat down beside Su Qingsang. He had noticed that Su Qingsang's forehead was a little swollen. He didn't know how he got hurt. He used the emergency light to apply the ointment on Su Qingsang's wound. His movements weren't big, but Su Qingsang only moved a little. She was in a deep sleep. She was probably exhausted. After applying the medicine, Hu Jinyao stared at her face for a while. Finally, he leaned over and kissed her on the cheek. Only then did he lie down beside her and rest together with her. Su Qingsang woke up before dawn the next day. Actually, no one could really sleep well that night. The whole night was filled with the sound of excavators and all sorts of noises. As soon as she woke up, Hu Jinyao, who was outside, heard the noise and poked his head in. Why don't you sleep a little longer? It was too late when he came yesterday, so he only saw it clearly when the sun rose. The faint shadows in Su Qingsang's eyes suggested that she hadn't had a good rest. Hu Jinyao's heart ached. He even had the urge to light his cigarette and take Su Qingsang back to Lin City. I'm not sleeping anymore. Hearing the noise outside, Su Qingsang quickly sat up, stood up, and stretched her limbs. Su Qingsang walked out of the tent and saw that the people around her were all busy. She casually washed up and headed to the tent where the medical team was located. Why don't you at least eat something first? Hu Jinyao held her hand. He handed the breakfast that he had prepared beforehand to her and said, Eat breakfast first. I won't let you go if you don't eat. Su Qingsang looked at his stubborn eyes and had no other choice but to take it. She ate very quickly, without any elegance or gentleness. Chapter 171. Su Qing-sang took a few sips of the milk he handed to her, but didn't say anything in the end. After finishing it, she waved her hand and was about to leave. Honey, what Jin Yao really lost to her. He took out a tissue and handed it to her. No matter how anxious she was, she didn't need to disregard her image to this extent, right? Su Qing-sang was a little embarrassed. She had been too anxious. She took the tissue and wiped her face. Without looking at Hua Jinyao, she hurried to treat the wounded. After a few steps, she stopped and turned around to look at Hua Jinyao. By the way, if there's nothing else, you should leave. It's a mess here. I don't think I'll go back so soon. Hua Jinyao gave Su Qing-sang a really sad look. Honey, isn't it good for me to stay here with you? Su Qing-sang didn't know what to say. It's not good or bad. It's just inappropriate. How is it inappropriate? It's just not suitable. Su Qing-sang waved at him. Remember, let's go back as soon as the traffic starts. After Su Qing-sang left, Hua Jinyao was still holding the half-empty bottle of milk in his hand. He turned around and saw Chiu Yanba looking at him with his arms crossed. TSK, looks like President Hua is also despised. Mr. Chiu, you really have nothing better to do. Hua Jinyao glanced at him coldly. But you think too much. That's because Qing-sang loves me. I know very well whether or not I feel sorry for you. Chiu Yanba moved closer to Hua Jinyao. I'm curious how Qing-sang would feel if she found out that her husband lied to her. I'm curious too. If the Li family and the Su family knew what you're thinking right now, how would they feel? President Hua, you're worrying too much. Back then, the Cho family had an engagement with the Su family, but it wasn't specified who would be the executor of the engagement. Speaking of which, Qing-sang's surname is also Su. Hua Jinyao didn't look too good. Let me remind you, Mr. Cho, Qing-sang was already married. She's my wife now. I know. Chiu Yanba nodded. But what about marriage? This marriage could still be divorced. What's more, I'm afraid Qing-sang doesn't know that her marriage is a sham. Boss Cho, be careful with your words. It's better not to talk nonsense without solid evidence. Is there no evidence? Chiu Yanba lowered his voice. The young master of the Hua family in Rong City is engaged to the Su family. Everyone in Rong City knows about this. Looking at Hua Jinyao's unchanging expression, he was impressed that Hua Jinyao could still be so calm at a time like this. But I'm also really curious. The dignified young master of the Hua family, the president of the Tianyu group, had actually come to Lin City, thousands of miles away from Rong City, to marry an illegitimate daughter who had been detested by her family. I'm really curious about the reason behind this. I wonder if President Hua would be willing to answer my questions. Hua Jinyao's expression slowly became serious. He narrowed his eyes slightly and looked at Chiu Yanba in front of him. Chiu Yanba generously let him see. Seeing that he didn't speak, he added, I'm here because I can be honest with my heart. I just don't know if President Hua can do it. Hua Jinyao's expression didn't change. Yes or no? I don't need to explain to Mr. Chiu. Excuse me. He turned around and left. Yang Wenchang had also woken up and seemed to be looking for him. Chapter 172. It wasn't the first time Su Qing-sang had faced death, but this was the most tragic one. The rescue team brought over the buried family of 3. When they arrived, all of them had no signs of life. The entire medical team didn't make a sound. They just looked at the family of 3. The youngest child looked like he was only 4 or 5 years old. Deputy Director Chun was the first to react. He picked up the white cloth and covered the child. Su Qing-sang covered the other person with the white cloth. She knew that this was inevitable, but facing such a tragic scene still made her feel like acting. When Hua Jinyao found her at noon, he immediately noticed that she wasn't in a good mood. Honey, are you too tired? Su Qing-sang shook her head and glanced at Hua Jinyao. Eat. Hua Jinyao came over with instant noodles in his hand. It's ready. The conditions here are limited. You can eat first. As he spoke, he put the instant noodles on the simple table beside him. It's rare that it's not raining anymore. It'll be easier for the rescue work to start. You should eat something or you'll be out of energy in the afternoon. It rained all night last night and didn't stop until this morning. Hua Jinyao, Su Qingsang suddenly reached out and hugged him. Hua Jinyao was stunned. It was rare for Su Qingsang to take the initiative. He should have enjoyed it, but it was obviously not the right time. What's wrong? What happened? Hua Jinyao reached out and wrapped his arms around her waist. His voice was so gentle that he didn't even realize it. Su Qingsang didn't know what to say. Disasters had always been like this. When it came, no one would be spared. Hua Jinyao didn't know why he was like this, so he could only guess. Are you too tired? Su Qingsang shook her head. She didn't want to talk at this time. Then, Hua Jinyao looked into the distance. The medical team was actually some distance away from the landslide. This was just the first aid point. After the injured were treated, they would be immediately transferred to the county hospital. There were still people searching for them. The longer time passed, the lower the survival rate. How could he forget this? Honey, Hua Jinyao hugged Su Qingsang's waist tightly and said in a very soft voice, birth, aging, illness, and death, natural disasters, these are all unavoidable. You don't want it either. Don't blame yourself. How could Su Qingsang not know that? But he could only watch helplessly as his life was taken away in front of him. Even if he was a doctor, he still made her feel uncomfortable. All right, Hua Jinyao patted her on the back. Honey, hurry up and eat something. Think about it this way. You have to take care of yourself first. Only then can you save more people and help more people. Don't you agree? As he spoke, Hua Jinyao took a step back. He reached out and stroked her cheek. I believe that you will definitely save more people, right? His eyes were deep and firm. Su Qingsang looked at him. Even though the gloom in her heart hadn't dissipated, she felt much better. His words and his embrace were like a hot spring, nourishing her heart bit by bit. Whether it was the incident with Zhang, Mei last time or this time, Su Qingsang was extremely glad that Hua Jinyao had always been there for her. Hua Jinyao. Su Qingsang looked at him and met his eyes. Thank you. She had never believed in love, nor was she willing to believe in men. Chapter 173. The rescue work lasted for 3 days. Except for a few missing villagers, the casualties had been confirmed. Su Qingsang and the medical team she was in had been working around the clock. As long as they were still breathing, they would be able to save their lives. Some of them were beyond their abilities. Hua Jinyao stayed with her for 3 days. She performed the surgery and helped to deal with the patients. He became a volunteer and kept himself busy. Besides him, there was Qiu Yanba. He had also been very busy and had done a lot of things with them. 3 days later, the rescue work came to an end. The doctors in Qingyuan County took over. Su Qingsang and the others finally received instructions from the higher-ups to return to Lin City. Su Qingsang came in the medical team's car, but she got in Hua Jinyao's car to go back. During this period of time, she had not slept well at all. As soon as she got in the car, Hua Jinyao adjusted the seat for her. It'll take more than 2 hours to get back to Lin City. You should sleep. What about you? Aren't you sleepy? I'm not sleepy. Hua Jinyao found a blanket, opened it, and covered her with it. Go to sleep. Su Qingsang glanced at him and didn't refuse. She yawned, laid her body flat, and fell asleep. When she woke up, she found that she was already home in Lin City. She slept so soundly that she didn't even know how she got into the house. She looked around awkwardly, but didn't see Hua Jinyao. When she came out of the room, she didn't see him. Sister Lu, the part-time helper, had arrived and was cooking in the kitchen. Sister Lu, have you seen Hua Jinyao? He seems to be in the study. Sister Lu didn't stop working. He told me to call him after dinner. It's almost time for dinner. Su Qingsang nodded and followed her into the study. Hua Jinyao seemed to be busy. He sat behind the desk with a laptop open in front of him and a pile of documents beside him. He stared at the screen sideways, not noticing that she had come in. Yes, do as I say. By the way, change the price on the tender. I'm not satisfied with what they did before. And the last time, he saw Su Qingsang enter the door from the corner of his eye. He whispered into the phone that he would talk to her later and hung up. You're awake? Yes. Su Qingsang took a few steps forward and looked at the documents on the table. There were so many words and all kinds of reports. She felt dizzy just by looking at them. Are you busy? I'm fine. Did your trip to Qingyuan County delay a lot of work? It was rare for Su Qing-sang to feel a little guilty. What are you thinking? Nothing. Of course, Hu Jinyao wouldn't tell her that he had left behind a lot of things in Rong City to attend to, nor would he tell her that there were indeed a lot of things to do in the company. He reached out to hold Su Qing-sang's hand and looked at her face. After sleeping for the whole journey, she looked much better than when she had left Qingyuan. They've been raised well. Go to bed early tonight and recover your energy. Su Qing-sang didn't refute. Just as she was about to say that Hu Jinyao also needed a good rest, her phone rang. Ping Su lines. Sister, are you okay? Su Yusin had heard that something had happened to Qingyuan, but he only found out later that Su Qing-sang was also there. When he found out, he was shocked and called Su Qing-sang immediately. Chapter 174. Are you sure? Yes, I'm back. That's good. Su Yusin breathed a sigh of relief. He thought of something else and suddenly didn't know if he should tell Su Qing-sang. What's wrong? Is there anything else? It's Qiu Yanba. Su Yusin's face darkened when he said the name, and his voice became colder. He wants to break off the engagement with my sister. What did you say? Su Qing-sang was shocked. When did this happen? Yesterday. Last night, Qiu Yanba came to their door in a very solemn manner and gave them generous gifts, begging for their forgiveness. The Su family was confused, but Qiu Yanba said that he wanted to break off the engagement with Su Peijian. Everyone in the Su family was shocked. Su Peijian, in particular, could not accept this reality at all. What did I do wrong? How have I wronged you? You want to break off the engagement? You're fine. You didn't do anything wrong. However, I suddenly realized that what I feel for you is not love, so I want to break off the engagement. Of course, Su Peijian wouldn't accept this excuse. We've been engaged for a long time. Why didn't you say that you didn't love me? Now that we've been engaged for 2 or 3 years, you're saying it's not love? Qiu Yanba, how could there be such a thing? I'm sorry. Qiu Yanba's attitude was firm. I was wrong before. I thought I could make do with being with Peijian like this. But I realized I couldn't do it. How powerful was Su Peijian? Hearing Qiu Yanba's words, how could she swallow her pride? Don't make up excuses. Why don't you tell me directly if you have other women outside? I really didn't. Qiu Yanba's expression was honest. If that's what you think, there's nothing I can do. I really just don't want to make do. Make do. Lu Fei was the eldest daughter of the Su family. How could Qiu Yanba call her a mediocre person? How could Su Peijian tolerate such humiliation? She stood up without hesitation and pointed at Qiu Yanba with a determined expression. So what? Do you think I care about you? Su Qinghui and Li Qinxue hadn't figured out how to solve the problem yet. Su Peijian said, Get out. Get out of my house right now. I don't ever want to see you again. Yesterday happened to be Sunday, and Su Yusin was also at home. He was completely caught off guard by this turn of events. Li Qinxue liked Qiu Yanba very much, and so did Su Qinghui. The two elders knew that Su Peijian was stubborn and proud, so they had to put in a good word for her. However, no matter what the two elders said, Qiu Yanba insisted on breaking off the engagement. Not only that, but they also returned the token of engagement between the two families. This could be considered a firm attitude. Su Yusin was a little emotional. He had called Qiu Yanba brother-in-law for the past few years. Who knew that such a change would happen? Su Qing-sang was completely dumbfounded. Qiu Yanba had been with them for the past few days, volunteering in Qingyuan County. Later, he said that he had something to do and came to say goodbye to her. Then, he returned to Lin City a day earlier. Su Qing-sang thought that he had gotten over it after seeing her with Hu Jinyao every day. Who knew that not only did this person not think it through, but he also made such a big move as soon as he came back. Su Qing-sang felt a surge of uneasiness in her heart. For so many years, she was able to live in harmony with the Su family, maintaining a semblance of peace. It was only because she had no conflict of interest with the Su family. Chapter 175. However, if the Su family and Li family found out that she caused Qiu Yanba to break off the engagement with Su Peijian, things would get complicated. Even if it had nothing to do with her, she was the cause. Sister? Sister, can you hear me? Sister? I'm fine. Su Qingsang shook her head. She didn't know what she could do. She just hoped that Xiao Yanba wouldn't go crazy. Yes, I'll visit you in a few days when I have time off. Okay. Su Qingsang was still very willing to be close to Su Yusen. However, she said, You, comfort your sister when you're free. Let her be more open-minded. She can definitely find a better man with her qualifications. I know, but I don't have time to stay at home every day. I can only ask my mother to persuade her. After hanging up the phone, Su Qingsang found that Hui Jinyao was staring at her. She couldn't hide the expression on her face from him. What happened? Nothing. Su Qingsang didn't know what to say and looked at Hui Jinyao. She really couldn't say that Xiao Yanba broke off the engagement with Su Peijian because of her. First, it would make her seem so important. It would be too narcissistic. Second, no husband would be happy to hear such news. She believed that Hui Jinyao was no exception. You and I are husband and wife. What can we talk about? Hui Jinyao turned off the computer, put away the documents, and walked to her. Look at you. You're frowning so hard that you could kill a mosquito. How can you say it's nothing? Xiao Yanba broke off the engagement with Su Peijian. Su Qingsang told him in the end, I don't know if it's because of me, but if it's because of me, I feel it has nothing to do with you. It's Xiao Yanba's own business. Hui Jinyao interrupted her and didn't let her continue to blame herself. He's not a child anymore. He should also learn to pay for his actions. Since he made up his mind, he must have thought it through. But if he has feelings for Su Peijian, he can continue with or without you. Su Qingsang knew that what he said was true, but she was still a little worried. I just don't want my father and aunt to. Don't worry. Hui Jinyao held her in his arms. I won't let them bully you. I'm not talking about bullying. Anyway, I don't like it. I don't like it either. Hui Jinyao kissed her on the forehead. You're my wife. That Xiao Yanba is so annoying. Su Qingsang didn't know what to say. He's annoying, but I can't deny that he did save me this time. I just hope he did it on impulse. Impulsive? I think he has ulterior motives. Hui Jinyao sneered. He came here just like that and said that he wanted to break off the engagement with Su Peijian. On the surface, it looks like it's for you, but in reality, it's only for himself. Seeing Su Qingsang looking at him with a puzzled look, he added, Think about it. He said he likes you and has feelings for you. Then, he would break off the engagement with Su Peijian. At that time, he could say that he did all of this for her. What will happen to you? You are already married. You can't accept him. His actions are just to make you feel guilty, and sad. If you weren't married, his actions would only make things difficult for you. Think about it. Don't you agree? Chapter 176. She laughed bitterly and said self-deprecatingly, I've known since I was a child that the Su family didn't like me. She had nothing to do with me, but she raised me. Of course she wouldn't like me. Even I, Su Changhui, call him dad, but I know he doesn't see me as his daughter. After all these years, I've gotten over it. I'm just a little confused. If they don't like me, why did they bring me back to the Su family? Send me away. Send me to some orphanage or some poor family. Wouldn't they be happier not to see me? Su Qingsang had been confused for so many years, but no one had come to help her. This time, I'm not concerned about Xiao Yanba. I'm just worried about the Li family and the Su family. They might not bully me, but the Su family raised me. But no matter what, the Su family raised me, and I don't want to have any real conflict or opposition with them. Do you understand? Hui Jinyao looked at Su Qingsang. Her features were gentle and beautiful, and her eyes were clear. He felt something in his heart. He pulled her into his arms again and gently patted her back. My wife is so kind. Don't worry. Xiao Yanba was the one who started all of this. Neither the Su family nor the Li family can blame you for this. He would never give them an excuse to make things difficult for Su Qingsang. She was the person he wanted to protect. Su Qingsang pressed her lips into a straight line and finally nodded. I won't talk about it anymore. Let's go eat. Okay. You have to promise me that you won't think about it anymore. These things really have nothing to do with you. It would be good if it really had nothing to do with her. Su Qing-sang shook her head and decided not to think about it for now. Hua Jinyao narrowed his eyes. He felt very uncomfortable thinking about Xiao Yanba. Although he had insulted him in front of Su Qing-sang, the punishment was too light for him. It seemed that the Qiu family had too much free time recently. That was why Qiu Yanba had so much free time to come to Su Qing-sang. It was time for him to find something for Qiu Yanba to do. Su Qing-sang rested at home for 2 days before going to work. As soon as she entered the hospital, she was notified. Due to the trauma and outstanding performance of the medical team during the landslide, the medical team that went to Qingyuan County will be commended this Friday. Not only did he receive a commendation, but he also received a month's worth of performance pay. As soon as Su Qing-sang sat down, she received a call from Shi Mengwan. What do you think? Are you done? It's about time. What happened? You can do it? I haven't seen you for a few days, and you've become a hero. What are you talking about? What do you think I said? Didn't you watch the news for the past 2 days? What news? Su Qing-sang hadn't watched the news. She didn't react for a moment when she heard Shi Mengwan's words. Someone posted your photo on the internet. You're famous now. Weibo. Su Qing-sang had been so busy that she didn't have time to check Weibo. You better take a look. Shi Mengwan's voice was still a little dissatisfied. Are you my friend? Do you think of me as your best friend? How could you not tell me when something so dangerous happened to you? I'm just too busy to deal with it. Look at her. She was so busy these days that her feet could barely touch the ground. She really forgot to contact Shi Mengwan. You can't take care of it, right? You even asked me to look for news about you on Weibo. You're really something. Chapter 177. Su Qing-sang hung up the phone and went to check Weibo. She found that there was a hashtag, the most beautiful doctor hashtag on the local popular Weibo. The top post was a photo of her during the rescue in Qingyuan County. In the photo, she was kneeling and giving first aid to a patient. She didn't know who took the photo and posted it on the internet. The photo was a little blurry, but her facial features could be seen very clearly. There were over 10,000 reposts and over 100,000 likes. Su Qing-sang looked at the photo and didn't think much about it. She just wondered which patient's family member took the photo. Su Qing-sang didn't take it to heart at all. She continued to receive patients and perform surgeries. At night, she drove home by herself. Recently, her schedule didn't match with Hua Jinyao's. When she got home and put down her bag, Hua Jinyao was still awake. Honey, you're back? Yes. Su Qing-sang nodded. Have you eaten? What time is it? Hua Jinyao looked at the time. What's wrong? Haven't you eaten? Yes. Su Qing-sang looked at him and thought that she was on the top of Weibo today. She couldn't help but take out her phone and share it with Hua Jinyao. Let me tell you something. What? Su Qing-sang was too embarrassed to praise herself. She directly opened Weibo and put it in front of Hua Jinyao. The most beautiful doctor? Hua Jinyao stared at the screen for a while. It's only been 1 day, and it's been reposted over 50,000 times and liked over 200,000 times? Huh, it went up again. Su Qing-sang hadn't noticed it yet. She leaned over to look at the screen. I haven't noticed it yet. You purposely showed me this. Su Qing-sang blushed a little. She looked away and felt a little uncomfortable. Can't I? Yes, but my wife is beautiful. I don't need them to judge her as the most beautiful doctor. Hua Jinyao kissed Su Qing-sang on the cheek. Su Qing-sang blushed. I didn't mean that. She didn't want him to praise her. She just wanted to show him that she was a celebrity. Then what do you mean? Hua Jinyao stared at her face, and his eyes, which were as bright as stars, suddenly became deep. Speaking of which, wife, I've been a vegetarian since you went to the countryside. Su Qing-sang looked at him, and the smile on her face froze. When you came back, I sympathized with your hard work. I said that you were tired and let you rest for another 2 days. Come to think of it, we haven't had a good chat for more than half a month. Su Qing-sang stood up abruptly and quickly took a big step back. I'll go take a shower first. That's good. Hua Jinyao nodded, and the smile on his face became more and more meaningful. It'll be better if you shower faster. Seeing Su Qing-sang quickly dash in a bathroom, the smile on Hu Jinyao's face disappeared. He stared at the Weibo pose for a long time, his expression solemn. The sound of running water came from the bathroom. He took out his phone and pressed a few numbers. Help me find out what's going on with the most beautiful doctor's Weibo. Is it a coincidence, or is it intentional? Yes, after the investigation, the topic should disappear. That was right. Do it cleanly. It was a good thing that Su Qing-sang had become a celebrity on Weibo. However, he smelled something different. Now, he only hoped that he was thinking too much. He threw his phone aside and found that Su Qing-sang's bag was still on the bed. Hu Jinyao picked it up and was about to help her put it aside. Chapter 178. Hu Jinyao picked up the bottle and glanced at it. One look was all it took to know what it was. He clenched the bottle and glanced in the direction of the bathroom with a complicated expression. Su Qing-sang came out of the shower with steam still on her body. She picked up the hairdryer to dry her hair. Before she started, someone took the hairdryer from her. She looked at Hu Jinyao's face in the mirror, and he looked at her. I'll dry it for you. Su Qing-sang was a little embarrassed and reached out her hand. I could do it myself. It's not like I don't have hands. I like to help you. Hu Jinyao avoided her hand and gently lifted a strand of her hair. Su Qing-sang was not used to it, but seeing Hu Jinyao enjoying it, she couldn't bear to refuse him. She stared at Hu Jinyao in the mirror. From this angle, his face was really handsome. Then he looked very gentle when he focused on drying her hair. A strange feeling flashed through her heart, and Su Qing-sang's face suddenly turned a little red. The burning temperature on her face made Su Qing-sang extremely uncomfortable. However, Hu Jinyao had already dried her hair. He put down the hairdryer and leaned forward with his chin against her neck. What? You keep looking at me. Did you suddenly find that your husband is too handsome? Are you falling in love with me? Su Qing-sang blushed and moved her body to the side. Stop it. It's late. Go to sleep. Yes. It's late. Go to sleep. As he spoke, Hu Jinyao reached out and picked Su Qing-sang up. Su Qing-sang was startled and quickly wrapped her arms around Hu Jinyao's neck to prevent herself from falling. The moment her body touched the bed, even though it wasn't the first time, Su Qing-sang was still a little nervous. Speaking of which, they hadn't slept for more than half a month, wife. After Hu Jinyao put her down, he didn't do anything else. He turned over and lay down beside her. His big hands clasped her waist and let her sleep against him. This change stunned Su Qing-sang. She turned to look at him, as if she didn't understand why he let her go so easily today. Go to sleep. Hu Jinyao kissed her on the cheek. He didn't make any further moves. Su Qing-sang was even more surprised. Yesterday and the day before yesterday, she clearly felt that he also wanted to. Just a moment ago, he had said those words, but now he had no reaction at all. No, there's a reaction. She felt it. His face was a little uneasy, but more of it was filled with doubt. Hu Jinyao, what happened to him today? I'm very hot right now. Don't provoke me again. What are you talking about? Su Qing-sang turned over. She was tired after a whole day of work. She pulled his hand away and planned to sleep. Hu Jinyao put his arm around her again. Su Qing-sang clearly felt his excitement, but she didn't understand why he didn't continue. Honey, Hu Jinyao pressed his face against her neck. His hot breath tickled her. Just as she was about to move forward to hide, his next words made her whole body stiffen. Don't take that birth control pill anymore. Birth control pills? He saw it. Su Qing-sang didn't know how to react. Have a baby? At this stage, she did not want to. Don't take that medicine anymore. It's not good for your body. I'll buy condoms tomorrow. You can tell me about this kind of thing in the future. Su Qing-sang's body had been very stiff. How could Hu Jinyao not feel it? He kissed her on the cheek and tightened his arms. Honey, I'm your husband. If you have any thoughts, you can tell me directly. Chapter 179. The room was so quiet that Su Qing-sang could hear her own heartbeat, one after another. Not only hers, but also Hu Jinyao's. Su Qing-sang's body had been very stiff. She wasn't sure if Hu Jinyao was telling the truth. She had a hunch that he would be angry. "I'm not angry." As if he knew what she was thinking, Hu Jinyao's voice rang in her ear. "Well, I'm actually a little angry too. This kind of thing should be between the two of us. Of course, if you don't want to have children, you can discuss it with me. You're a doctor. You cannot know how harmful these drugs are. I hope you won't take them again. I didn't think of using contraceptives before. It was my mistake. Next time something like this happens, you can talk to me. Actually, it's not just you. I'm not ready to be a father either." Hu Jinyao's arm around her tightened. Su Qing-sang wanted to say something, but she felt that whatever she said would be useless. "I also think it's more appropriate to have children when both of us are ready." "I believe you think so, right?" After listening to him talk for so long, Su Qing-sang finally turned around. She looked at Hu Jinyao. The light from the bedside lamp shone on his face. His facial features looked a little blurry in the dark. When she looked into his eyes seriously, they were filled with her shadow. Su Qing-sang gently nodded. "Hu Jinyao, I admit that I'm not ready." "I know." Hu Jinyao kissed her forehead. "It's okay. I'm not ready either. Since we're not ready, then let's have children when we're both ready." "Okay." Su Qing-sang nodded gently. Looking at Hu Jinyao's face, she couldn't restrain her inner desire. She raised her hand, put it around Hu Jinyao's neck, and kissed him. Hu Jinyao held her waist for a long time before finally letting her go. He buried his cheek in her neck. "Don't provoke me again. Otherwise, I won't care if you take the medicine or not." Su Qing-sang's face turned red. She quickly turned around and said, "I'm sleepy. I want to sleep." Hu Jinyao gritted his teeth and bit her face in dissatisfaction. She was always like this, running away after provoking him. She was really too much. Su Qing-sang was in pain, but she didn't dare to speak. Seeing that even her earlobes were red, Hu Jinyao finally got up and went to the bathroom to take a cold shower. As soon as he left, Su Qing-sang pulled up the blanket and covered her face. Taking a cold shower in this weather was actually quite pitiful. However, she felt a warmth in her heart. Once again, she felt that marriage was a good thing and Hu Jinyao was a good thing. The atmosphere in the Tianyu CEO's office was a little gloomy. Hu Jinyao glanced at Yang Wenchang. "What do you mean?" "Just as you guessed, President Hua. Miss Su's news has been at the top of the hot search list. It looks like there's a water army behind it. After we found out about it yesterday, we immediately sent out our PR team to suppress the trending topic." "There's a ghostwriter?" "Yes. Not only were there fake reviewers, but there were also people who bought the trending searches." "But President Hua, how do you know someone did this on purpose?" "Recently, Xiao Qing's affair with Yang Liufei caused such a big commotion, but it's only this popular. There must be a reason behind this abnormality. I believe this matter is not simple." Chapter 180. We're already looking into it, but they're using an internet phone and hid their ID address. We need some time. Okay, keep an eye on this. Then tell me the results. And President of the intercom rang. Hu Jinyao pressed the speaker button. "President Hua, He Xiankai from his company is downstairs. He wants to see you." "I won't see him." Hu Jinyao looked up and found Yang Wenchang smiling awkwardly. "President Hua, this is something else I want to talk to you about. I don't know how Mystery got in touch with Chairman Hua. Chairman Hua said that we'll cancel the bid and work with the He family." Yang Wenchang's voice became softer and softer. He shrunk his neck and wanted to find a hole to hide in. "Do I have the final say in this company, or my dad?" "Of course it's you." But Yang Wenchang didn't want to admit it. "President Hua, I don't think you need to compete with the chairman. He still has 30% of Tianyu shares." Hu Jinyao's face darkened. "If you think my dad is willing to let you sell your shares, I don't mind if you go back to Rong City with my dad right now." "President Hua, I didn't mean that. Okay, get out. I won't see He Xiankai. If he can come up with a bid that I like, this project will belong to the He family." "Yes." Yang Wenchang didn't dare to say anything else. He turned around and left. He felt cold sweat on his back as he left. He Xianyao saw He Xiankai walk in and immediately walked up to him. "Brother, how did it go? Did Brother Jinyao agree?" "No. He Shinkai looked at his sister. I told you it wouldn't work, but you didn't listen. Are you okay now? How is that possible? Does what, Jinyao, not listen to Uncle Hua anymore? If he listened to his family, why would he come to Lin City alone? He Shinkai sighed inwardly. Now I can only hope that the bid is approved. Otherwise, it's not a big deal if we don't get the deal and make money. I'm afraid that the business landscape in Rong City will have to be rearranged. Brother, He Xuanyao's face was full of uneasiness. What if what Jinyao deliberately didn't let the He family pass? Brother, I think there's another person who can make what Jinyao yield. Xianyao, stop messing around. You can go back to Rong City in a few days. You don't have to worry about the project here. Brother, He Xianyao didn't want to leave. It's okay that Hua Jinyao doesn't like me. But there's one person he can't possibly not like, right? Who? Suruoli. He Xianyao thought of the woman that even she felt inferior to. Don't forget, Sister Ruoli is the daughter-in-law appointed by the Hua family. The Hua and Su families are engaged. Stop fooling around. Hua Jinyao is already married. He's married, but I believe that Sister Ruoli is different to him. I've decided I'm going to call Sister Ruoli now. Xianyao? Xianyao, He Shinkai wanted to stop her, but He Xianyao went back to her room with her phone. In the end, he couldn't stop it because he also wanted to know, did Hua Jinyao still care about Su Ruoli as much as he did before? If he did, then there was still a chance for their cooperation this time. Chapter 181. Thanks to yesterday's Weibo post, a bunch of patients came to see her today. Some of the patients were not even pregnant at all. They just wanted to see the so-called most beautiful doctor. It had only been a morning, but she was already exhausted. She took the opportunity to look at Weibo while she was in the bathroom and found that her post had long been removed from the hot search list. There were no more likes like yesterday. Before she could heave a sigh of relief, there were still many patients and pregnant women who came in the afternoon. The number of patients she received was more than 10 times the usual number, which made Su Qingsang very tired. Even Hua Jinyao could see that she was tired until she got off work. What's wrong with you? He knew that she was too tired from work yesterday, so he specifically said that he would pick her up today. I'm fine. There are quite a lot of patients today. Su Qingsang slumped in her seat. People fear fame as pigs fear getting fat. I understand now. You have a lot of patients today? Because of that Weibo post? Hua Jinyao pondered for a moment. There was indeed something wrong with that Weibo post. But did he just want Su Qingsang to be lighter? Smart. You're right. Su Qingsang gave him an appreciative look. It's because of that Weibo post. Patients came to see me today. It's fine if you say that it's only obstetrics and gynecology. Even those who were not from the obstetrics and gynecology department came. They asked me if I could take a picture with them. What's going on? They were all patients, so Su Qingsang couldn't just kick them out. He sent people over to maintain order. Some of them were patients and had come to see a doctor. The obstetrics and gynecology department is so busy today. I'm glad that Chief Zhang and Chief Chen aren't petty people. Otherwise, they'll probably give me a hard time if I make such a big commotion. Who dares? Hua Jinyao rubbed the top of her head and said, My wife is so hard-working and professional. I can't wait to praise her. How can I make things difficult for you? Glib. Su Qingsang couldn't stand it anymore. Director Zhang has been a doctor for almost 30 years. Chief Chen also had 20 years of experience. They are professional, dedicated, serious, and responsible. I don't care if they're professional or not. Anyway, my wife is the most beautiful. That's enough. Are you going to go home or not? It was getting late into autumn, and the nights in Lin City came earlier than usual. The sky outside was starting to darken. Yes, but we still have to go buy something first. Buy what? Su Qingsang smiled at Hua Jinyao, but didn't answer her question. For some reason, she felt a little flustered. 20 minutes later, Su Qingsang glanced at the bag of Okamoto super thin in the back seat, then looked at the smile on Hua Jinyao's face. She couldn't help but blush. Why did you buy so many? She had fainted just now. She actually accompanied Hua Jinyao to buy this. It was fine if he bought this. He even bought so much. It was fine if he bought a lot. and all of them were taking large sizes. The way the shop assistant looked at her just now wasn't right. She was still feeling uneasy. If it's consumed quickly, then buy more. Otherwise, it would be troublesome to run around all the time. Hua Jinyao grinned, showing his white teeth. Su Qing-sang felt her gums hurt a little, so she spoke without thinking. You bought so much. It's enough for us to use for a year. Honey. Hua Jinyao cleared his throat and glanced at Su Qing-sang with a hint of resentment. Are you questioning my ability? Yes. That's it. It'll be used up in a month. Hua Jinyao's words almost made Su Qing-sang fall off the seat. You. Chapter 182. Me what? Hua Jinyao winked at her as he drove. Honey, don't worry. I'll try my best to prove to you that this won't take a year. You don't have to prove it. You really don't have to. Su Qing-sang was scared to death. Take it easy. A man's kidney really needs to be maintained. The car suddenly stopped. If she hadn't been wearing a seatbelt, she would have hit the car in front of her. Hua Jinyao, wife, don't worry. Hua Jinyao steered the car again. He didn't forget to give Su Qing-sang a look. Not only can I prove that these won't take a year, I can also prove that my kidneys are fine. Furthermore, it has a permanent battery life and will never lose power. Su Qing-sang was stunned. Looking at Hua Jinyao's eager face, she wanted to cry but had no tears. Hua Jinyao, I believe you. You don't have to prove it. No, I must prove it. Hua Jinyao, don't worry. I will definitely make you happy. Su Qing-sang felt a headache when she heard him emphasize the word happy. It wasn't that she didn't want him to make her unhappy. She was only worried about her waist. When he got home, Hua Jinyao spent the whole night trying to prove to Su Qing-sang that not only was his waist and kidneys fine, but that he could also last forever without a power outage. Su Qing-sang was in trouble. When he woke up in the morning, he felt weak all over. He had no strength at all. When she entered the hospital, her complexion even attracted the attention of Deputy Chief Chun. Qing-sang, you must be exhausted yesterday, right? Do you want me to put you off? No need. She was not tired because of the hospital. Take it easy. Deputy Chief Chun had also seen the Weibo post. You're the most beautiful doctor in our hospital now. In the future, it will be the trademark of our obstetrics and gynecology department. Take care of yourself. Director Chun, you're teasing me too. Chief Chun waved the medical records in his hand and went out. The popularity of Weibo had died down, but the number of patients today did not decrease by much. After that, Su Qing-sang even had her meals in her office. She finished them in 5 minutes. Finally, after noon, there were fewer patients. However, she received a patient who was relatively familiar to her. Li Rongrong was more than 4 months pregnant. He could already see her stomach beginning to swell. She had come alone, and when she entered, her face was pale and she did not look well. Su Qing-sang was stunned when she saw her. She hadn't forgotten how this woman had made a scene in the hospital. However, the doctor still had to do what he had to do. Let's take an ultrasound first, then do a routine examination. When was your last period? Dr. Su, didn't we ask about this last time? Li Rongrong did not cooperate at all. She had one hand on her belly, looking very protective of the baby. Did you bring your medical record? No. Since you didn't, then answer again. I forgot. Isn't this your business? Yes. It's our business. So please pay the fee now and then do the examination. Li Rongrong didn't take the paper in her hand. Instead, she covered her stomach with one hand and looked like she was in pain. My stomach hurts. I can't move. Where does it hurt? Get up and check. It hurts everywhere. My whole stomach hurts. Chapter 183. Li Rongrong leaned most of her weight on Su Qing-sang. Doctor, can you help me to get an ultrasound? I'm in a lot of pain right now. Li Rongrong, you're the prettiest doctor. You can't be so cold-blooded, can you? Su Qing-sang nodded. She knew that Li Rongrong was here to make things difficult for her. She didn't say much and called a nurse to help Li Rongrong register. Then she called the internal line to contact the ultrasound room. She helped Li Rongrong up and walked out. The clinic was on the 3rd floor, and the ultrasound room was on the 2nd floor. There were many people in the hospital, so Li Rongrong had to take the stairs. Su Qing-sang followed her. When they reached the stairs, Li Rongrong suddenly stopped. Su Qing-sang, are you very proud now? What? She didn't understand why she was talking about this. Su Qing-sang was confused. Wei Lenin doesn't want me, and he doesn't acknowledge the child in my belly. He even blamed me for you marrying another man. That's your business. Su Qing-sang didn't want to get involved in their business. You should go find Wei Lenin. I did. Do you think I didn't? Li Rongrong said with a face full of hatred. But do you know what he said to me? What? He asked me to die with the child. When Li Rongrong said this, she moved closer to Su Qing-sang with a fierce look on her face. This is his child. He actually asked me to die with the child? This woman was emotionally unstable. Su Qing-sang took a deep breath. Calm down. If there's anything, you could discuss it with him. There's no room for discussion. Li Rongrong suddenly reached out to hug Su Qing-sang. Su Qing-sang was startled and instinctively raised her hand to push her away. But Li Rongrong had already let go of her hand. The stairs were behind her. Su Qing-sang was shocked, but it was too late to stop her. She could only watch Li Rongrong's body fall down the stairs. Li Rongrong kept rolling down the stairs, accompanied by a scream. Su Qing-sang was stunned. She rushed down as soon as she realized what was going on. Li Rongrong's face and head were covered in wounds. Beneath him was a pool of blood. She didn't look well. Her face was pale, but when she saw Su Qing-sang coming down, she smiled at her. Su Qing-sang, if my child and I are going to die, I'm going to drag you down with us. Li Rongrong. Su Qing-sang was completely stunned by the scene in front of her. She looked at the pool of blood under Li Rongrong and the people who had gathered because of this incident. Hurry, help me. It was a mess. Su Qing-sang and Director Zhang tried their best to save Li Rongrong's life. In the end, her child was not saved. The 4-month-old baby boy had already taken shape, but it was gone just like that. Su Qing-sang had never thought that Li Rongrong could be so cruel. In order to get back at her, Li Rongrong was willing to gamble with her unborn child. Was she crazy? Su Qing-sang couldn't tell what she was feeling. She took out her phone and called Wei Lenin. No matter what, this child was Wei Lenin's. Whether there was or not, Wei Lenin should know. Wei Lenin arrived an hour later. Li Rongrong, who had lost a lot of blood, had not woken up yet. He saw Su Qing-sang first. You're here. Su Qing-sang was not surprised to see Wei Lenin's impatient and dissatisfied look. Chapter 184. Su Qing-sang briefly explained the situation to him. After that, she looked at Wei Lenin. He stood there and didn't seem to have much of a reaction. He just confirmed, is the child really gone? Yes, really gone. Su Qing-sang still felt a little uncomfortable thinking about the pool of blood. All right, Wei Lenin didn't have the patience to listen anymore. I will help her pay the hospital fees. This is not about the hospital fees. Su Qing-sang was very angry at Wei Lenin's attitude. Li Rongrong lost a lot of blood. Although she is out of danger after the emergency treatment, we still need to be careful. What does that have to do with me? Wei Lenin didn't seem to be moved at all. Are you saying that I should hire a nurse? All right, I understand. Su Qing-sang didn't speak. She took half a step back and looked at Wei Lenin. It was still the same face. She had dated him before, but she never knew that Wei Lenin had this side to him. At that moment, she suddenly felt very lucky that she broke off the marriage. Qing-sang, don't you know who I like? Do you think I would be with a woman I don't like? If you don't like her, then why did you get her pregnant? She set me up. Wei Lenin said it with a confident face. Seeing that Su Qing-sang was obviously going to lecture him, he said impatiently, all right, I will hire someone to take care of her. You don't have to worry about these things. Su Qing-sang didn't want to care about this anymore. She could see that Wei Lenin didn't want this child at all. Even if Li Rongrong gave birth, he probably wouldn't take responsibility. Wei Lenin paid the hospital fees, called a nurse over, and left. Su Qing-sang looked at Li Rongrong, who was still lying alone on the hospital bed. Before she got off work, she called a nurse to take care of her. It had been a very tiring day. When Su Qing-sang got off work and walked to the parking lot, Her phone rang. Ching sang, "Look at Weibo." Sherman Wan's voice on the other end of the phone sounded very anxious. "What's wrong? What happened?" "You're famous again," but this time, before Sherman Wan could finish, Su Ching sang saw Hua Jinyao's car stop not far from her. His car had stopped in a hurry. It was obvious that he was in a hurry to find her. "Jinyao? Meng Wan, I'll call you later." "Let's talk later," she said to Sherman Wan, who was on the other end of the phone. "Nope. Hua Jinyao was already there." Su Ching sang quickly hung up the phone. "Honey." Hua Jinyao looked a little anxious. "You're off work, aren't you? Hurry up and get on the car." "What's wrong?" Su Ching sang looked confused. Before she could ask clearly, Hua Jinyao had already brought her to the car and opened the door for her to get in. "Hua Jinyao," Su Ching sang called him. From the corner of his eye, he saw a group of people rushing towards him. She was startled. Before she could react, Hua Jinyao had already gotten into the car and started it. The people behind him had already started walking into the hospital. Su Ching sang didn't understand and turned to look at Hua Jinyao. "What's wrong? What happened?" "You're trending again." "That you're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.